Yeah,
All
man.
right, welcome to another BS sessions, man. We got Jerry. Who do we have, man?
You actually got some, I believe, two first timers, right? Am I correct?
Yeah. Well,
We got
Yes.
James
yes.
West and the great, awesome, legendary Metal Mike. Man, how you guys doing tonight?
Man, doing good. Glad to be here. Thank you for inviting me, guys. Means
Yeah,
a
listen
lot.
to
I
your.
had no idea James West was going to be here, so this is really a treat.
I was listening to your show last week, and they got some weather issues. I hear.
Oh, it sucks, man, because I was on a fucking roll with that block, man. It was some good shit.
Yeah, I was enjoying it too. It was like disappeared. I'm like, what's going on? I'm like, oh, probably the freaking weather.
Power went out, poof, and was out for like the whole night and part of the next day. It sucked.
Anyway, James, how you doing, man?
Man, I'm okay. Like I was saying, I had to bury my pet today, and it's been a
My
rough day.
condolences, brother.
I
I do appreciate it, but I decided I'd go ahead and come on with you guys, man, because you're all my friends. So man, I'm glad to be hanging out with you guys, and it's a pretty good topic, Mark picked. So I didn't have no problem coming up with those. I can tell you that.
It was kind
I
of
kind of
like
did, honestly, because most of the shows I've went to have been pretty fucking amazing. So for me to pick bad ones, I'll have an interesting answer for the bad ones, but we will, yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. It was like I said, let's pick our six favorite live shows, and I think Charles said, "How about 6 and 4 bad ones?" And I go, "Okay." So it was half and half here on that one. Yeah.
It worked out.
So man,
Yeah.
there's a lot of BS to get to today, man. But before we get to it, Charles, what's up, man? Oh, he's into Mr. Roboto.
Well,
There he is.
nothing much,
Damn.
nothing much, man. Just look forward to the show this week.
All right. So like we were. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Awesome. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, I love that shirt.
Check out what I'm wearing. Merciful Fate. Nuns have no fun, man.
Oh man, I love that one too.
That's some
Hell
good
yeah.
shit there, man.
I know.
Did you ever wear that to school?
Oh hell no! Are you kidding me? I just bought that when I seen him with Creator a few months ago. Me and my nephew went to see him, which was an amazing show.
Oh, that's awesome, man. I haven't got to see Merciful Fate. God, I killed to see King Diamond.
I've seen King Diamond once too. Me and my ex we took a road trip. Well, both of them were road trips. One of them was near Terre Haute, Indiana, at the Hard Rock Cafe, which obviously because of the Jackson family had a bunch of Jackson family stuff there, which was still cool, And then Creator were amazing. First time I ever saw them. And then Merciful Fate was great. Me and my nephew went on that trip, and then me and my ex Sarah, we went to see King Diamond with Uncle Acid and the Deadbeats, and that was a killer fucking show too, man. Yeah, that was great. I mean, so it's like, all right, cool. I got them off my bucket list. So
yeah, that's awesome.
That's what I'm saying. I haven't really seen a whole lot of bad shows. I mean, I've been to a bunch of them, so this is going to be kind of hard. I haven't even ranked anything because I've been so busy with work, so I'm going to just kind of go on the fly.
Yeah,
boys.
so we're doing 6 great shows and 4 bad shows. We're going to start with the 6 great ones, and then the bottom 4 will be the bad. So let's get into the BS though, man. Shit. Let's start off with the biggest news of the day that's been blowing up fucking Facebook. Fucking lawsuits between Motley Crue. Nick Mars is finally coming out and saying, yeah, Nicky's playing the tracks like Carmina Peach or Peachy or whatever said about this, man. And then also then Motley Crue fired back and said he repeatedly forgets his chords, does not play to the right song, plays chords of a different song. They have statements from the production crew, probably paid them off, I don't know. But even from his guitar tech said he wanted to quit because Mick was making him sound bad. And then one other thing, they're writing new songs with John 5. Okay, that's all our Motley Crue. So we'll start with you, James. What do you think of all this?
Actually, I think it's pretty shitty. My personal opinion is they should have retired a couple decades ago, just like Kiss. I listened to a clip of them like a week ago, on YouTube there because somebody had posted up about them lip syncing. They sounded just. It was the album. They were playing the album. Well, they weren't live. They were playing the album, dude. The only thing I heard live was John Five's guitar and his solos. But man, those vocals and it sounded just like the album because that's what it was. Like I'm pretty sure about that, dude. And I just think that's shitty, man. I don't agree with any of that. You know, I'm against that stuff, man. So you know, they should have just stopped when they said they were gonna stop. Just like yes, man. It's embarrassing. That's my viewpoint on it.
What do you think of it, Metal Mike?
Dude, I quit giving a fuck after Theater of Pain. All right. I just got to be blunt about it. I mean, look, I will say this. To be fair, Mick was always kind of my favorite member of the band. You know, I feel like he's the one that kind of got overlooked. But Motley Crue to me are one of the most overrated bands ever. Like the first two albums are really good. And then after that, you got like a good song here and there, but mostly fucking filler. And I'm being kind, man. I know they're the most beloved glam metal band on the Sunset Strip, but I'm sorry. I'll take Rat every day of the week and twice on fucking Sunday, man. I think Motley Crue are way overrated. So the care factor here is kind of nil. I mean, I like Mick, and I think Nikki Sixx is a fucking liar. I think he's a liar. I think he's been a liar. And, you know, I think that, yeah, you know, they're probably pulling some shady fucking shit, you know, and I'm on Team Mick. I will say that. I don't hate Motley Crue. I want to make that clear. I love the first two records, and I still want them. Like, I would love to see Motley Crue fucking kick my ass again. It ain't going to happen. But, you know, I always hope. You know, I always hope.
Right.
So. I mean, you know.
So
that's my take.
So Charles, what's your take on this crap?
Well, I mean, you got the allegations of tapes and like on the stadium tour.
What a shocker.
Yeah, well, I mean, James is saying it sounds like the record on the stadium tour. I thought at least they made Vince's tape sound realistic. At least it sounded like shit. Like the man used Molly stuff. I figured out, and I think it's 94. That's it. And that's it. My internet is, of course, acting up.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, yeah. I mean, like
it's just,
I hear you. Well, I kind of can't hear you because your voice got all robotic on me, man. Got all robotic, man. Yeah. It's like Skynet and shit. I was like, what?
I call Mr. Roboto. He loves
it. Hey, wait, try something here. But go ahead. Let me see if I can fix it.
All right, then I'll go to Jerry and come back to you, Charles. Jerry.
Yeah, James hit it on the head with his comments, and they should have retired a decade ago, man.
Yeah.
They were on top. And then one good distinction about that fucking band is they could retire with the fucking same original lineup, man. You know what I mean? Not many bands can say they can fucking do that anymore. My take on the tapes thing, that's something we're just going to have to accept now with a lot of fucking shows. Tapes are like a part of everybody's show almost nowadays. So it's not even worth talking about anymore.
Can I be a gray area in that for a minute?
Sure, go ahead.
I'll give you my take. Okay. I don't mind backing tracks if it's backing vocals. Like when I went to see Wasp with Armored Saint, Blackie was singing and he sounded fine. It's just with Wasp, if you listen to a lot of their studio recordings, you know, Blackie does the backing vocals on the albums. So I don't really have too much of a problem with that. But I do have a problem with somebody using tracks for main vocals and playing. Like, you know, the shit of they're not even playing their instruments. It's like, well, what's the fucking point, man? But like I've asked myself about that because I've never seen Motley Crue. Because the time I would have wanted to see him is when Ralph got to see him back in the day, you know, when they were at the top of their fucking game. That's when I wanted to see Motley Crue. You know, like I said, I tuned out a long time ago, fellas. But as far as the backing track thing goes, I mean, I don't mind a backing vocals, you know, the back, but yeah,
I agree with that.
You know, that doesn't bother me that much because as long as the real guy is still singing, I'm all right with that. What I don't like is when you got main vocals, the lead vocals having tracks. That does bother me.
Well, Vince
But
doesn't have.
I agree with you on that, but I'm saying, backing tracks now are just so normal now. It's like,
well, it started with ABBA. They were
Hey
doing that
man,
shit.
hey man, hey man, hey man,
They
hey
were
man.
doing
How
that when
about
they
your
played in
goddamn
concert.
mouth?
Even ABBA
Bro,
fans
let me
told
How
me
about
let me say
goddamn
one
mouth?
thing.
Let's be on
That
top.
type of music is meant to be recorded because it's part of the show. And they don't hide that. Well, they really did.
Well, I heard
but
ELO did it too because some guy said you're going off on ABBA. Let's give you the real culprit, ELO. They
they didn't
had
even
to
have a
refund
fucking
tickets
drummer,
back
dude.
in the day. I heard.
They didn't have a fucking drummer live, so of course they used backing tracks.
Well, they
But,
had. I heard, go ahead.
We wish Chumbawamba, your favorite group, would do that too, but they're not. So let's keep on task with Motley Crue here.
Okay.
But
go
yeah,
ahead.
I mean,
Thank you, Charles.
And Mike said, I'm the same way. I feel about Motley Crue the same way. They had two and a half good albums, and the rest is just, assorted songs on the way. But like I said, it was a missed opportunity for Motley Crue to retire on top. And
That is
another
true.
another opinion of mine is John 5 is way overqualified for that, man. But it's a fucking paycheck. It's a paycheck.
He was way overqualified for Rob Zombie's band. He didn't get to play
okay.
really.
Fair enough. Enough. But anyway, that's my take.
I guess he likes to be the sideman with no sound. Because you don't know if you listen to his solo albums, the guy has a great sound, but you just don't hear that with who he plays with. So I love John 5.
They always give him a solo spot though, whether he was in Rob Zombie or I'm sure Crew now, they're gonna give him a solo spot, give him like 5 or 10 minutes to do something. If they don't, they're idiots. But I have seen Rob Zombie give him a chance to play extended solos and stuff, man. Let him turn loose a little bit at least.
All right, man. Charles, you want to start your rant?
Yes, I do. It'd be nice. And I know we got some fellow fanatics on here. We had the Ace news this week.
Oh, okay.
Which ended up not being news.
Yeah, that's why I wasn't going to say it. Go ahead.
I can't believe people were sitting on pins and needles waiting for this supposed bombshell that was coming from Ace Frehley. Let me say something. I'm gonna say it for probably the last time. I love Kiss. All right, real Kiss, 70s Kiss. Metal Mike Unmasked. I'll just joke, man. I know it's a crappy album. Right?
Oh, if you like it, dude, I don't give a fuck. You do you, boo.
Special place in my heart, man. That's it. Tomorrow,
Okay, can I ask you a question? What was your introduction to Kiss? Was it that album? Yes. Well, that explains it. That totally gets it. Timeline is everything. There's always an album. Like there's somebody out there whose first Metallica album, even though I'm like, good God, is Saint Anger.
Oh my.
Or one of the Load albums, which again, I'm like, man, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for that. But it's true, like timeline is everything, Charles. So it's all right. You don't have to fucking apologize for liking.
Oh no, I know told you that. Misunderstood work at Genius might be a stretch. It's just a joke. But
there is one good song on that record.
Naked City.
Love that song.
I'm gonna say I'm pretty much beyond over the Kiss drama. I don't know who was waiting really and expected to hear something. There's not going to be anything. You want Motley Crue to retire? Kiss, please retire. I'm so tired of hearing about your bullshit. And I'm tired of hearing all sides of the equation. Oh, they're using tapes. Oh, they're doing that. Don't go to the shows. That's what I do. I vote with my wallet. It's sad. I went through this with GNR too, where I was like over it. There was a few years where I just didn't fuck with GNR, like for real. I'm with that with Kiss. I don't even like listening to music anymore for the time being. Because I'm so tired of hearing about are they playing? What are they doing? Blah, blah, blah. Look, they sold out Madison Square Garden 2 nights in a row. The only reason why I kind of hope they stay together is so that all those idiots that bought those tickets will be on the internet crying. I can't wait for that. They're not going to quit. But I've checked out on the Kiss news for a while. They're now my number 7 band. They went down 2 spots now because I'm tired of this bullshit with them.
I hear you, man.
Yeah, I agree with you. I'm not even you guys right here, except for me, are like huge Kiss fucking nerds. So whatever you guys say, I'm gonna take as the truth because I have no fucking horse in this race. Yes, I
Well-
have Kiss CDs. I like them, but it's not something I go, oh, let me hear.
Well, you
Kiss
didn't
CDs."
grow up on them, Mark.
No, I didn't.
See, even though you and I are close to the same age, they were a huge part of my childhood. And Edwin Canestracci, I watched his Kiss ranking albums, which was interesting the way he ranked things. But then when he explained it, hey, I didn't get into Kiss until my 20s, man. So obviously I understand if somebody who wasn't there when it was going on, I can understand where somebody might be like, yeah, I don't really feel Destroyer. I like this record better. I might think you're smoking crack, but I understand why, because you don't have that sentimentality. You don't have that emotional attachment that some people have. Like, look, man, Kiss got the last of my money years ago, boys. All right. Like I saw Kiss twice, man. Well, no, 3 times if you count Crazy Nights, but Ted Nugent kicked the fucking shit out of him on that tour.
Yes, he did.
Yes. So that would probably be one of my, yeah. Okay. Anyway, but I saw him with Alice in Chains, which was really cool because that was the next to the last live performance that Lane Staley ever did with Alice in Chains. Because I think the next night or the night after, they opened for Kiss at Kansas City, and Lane OD'd, and he very nearly died. And that was the very last time that Lane Staley ever performed with Alice in Chains. So I got to see the next to the last performance. But yeah, I mean, I love Kiss. They're a big part of my childhood. I mean, hell, we got into the Kiss Vortex in our last episode of The Plug. Because they're one of those bands, though, that you just can't help but talk about if you're a fan, because it is a fascinating story. They do have a crazy history, and I think, they're one of those bands that you can't it's like a fucking freak show or it's like a soap opera, it's like,
you know what? They're the Jerry Springer of rock and roll.
They've become that, which is sad.
Don't forget about Journey.
Well, yeah, Journey's got their issues too, man. But goddamn, dude, Kiss, you want to talk about a dysfunctional band, a dysfunctional family, because I know deep down all 4 of those guys care about each other, but damn, is there a lot of drama? I mean, and some people got mad at Ace for what he said, and I figured Ace was angry and he said a lot of shit in anger. But you know what, man? Gene and Paul been talking shit on that dude for fucking ever, man. And we all know why. It's because he fucking left the band and they lost a bunch of that money with the Polygram deal. And Gene and Paul have never fucking forgiven him for that. And that's the truth, man. This shit, we fired him. No, you didn't fucking fire him, motherfuckers. You never fired Ace. And anytime he did leave, there's been even rumors, man. Like there's stories about how Gene would call Ace and leave messages on his voicemail, because they had voicemail, especially rich folks back then in the early 80s. Ace, you have to come back to the band. Vinny's driving us nuts. He does these 30-minute guitar solos. They were begging him to come back. So I don't fucking want to hear it, man. It's like, whatever. Just stop already.
Well, you're kind of right. I got into Kiss late. I got into Kiss because of Fraley's comment, seeing like that Rock Soldiers video on MTV.
Hell yeah,
this guy is cool. And I got into Ace, and then somebody said, "Oh, you like Ace Frehley? He was in Kiss." I go, "Who?" I go, "Oh, that band that did Dr. Love." That's the only song I knew about them, and
really?
I think that's on Rock and Roll Over, right?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
That's my favorite Kiss album because of that song.
Mine too. My favorite studio album.
It is the best studio album.
Best one. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
So
think most of us agree to that.
So anyway, man, yeah, I mean, that's just my take. I'm just, again, it's like, I'm over it, it's like, whatever, I mean, people, because what bothers me, and like, that's nothing, anybody out there that wants to support what Kiss is doing, hey man, you do you, boo. I don't give a fuck, but don't fucking tell me, well, you're not a real fan if you don't support online. Hey, go suck a dick, man. Me and my brother Mark, man, he was a loyal Kiss fan, but he was not down for 2 dudes dressed as Peter and Ace. If they'd have given them their own identity, their own makeup, wouldn't have been a problem. But, a lot of people want to use the argument, well, they tried that with Vinny and Eric. Well, that's when they were putting out shitty records then. I mean, sorry, but the Elders sucked, man. I don't give a fuck.
I disagree with you on that one.
Ooh, Elder. Creatures
Okay,
rules.
all right. Let's put it. Yeah, but Creatures was a reaction. okay, if they put out Creatures when they put out The Elder, or if The Elder had been as heavy as Creatures, we might not be having this conversation. There might be a universe out there, a parallel universe where Kiss never took the makeup off. Think about that. Because think about it though, because Kiss, I mean, I don't hate The Elder. I'm not an Elder hater, but it wasn't the album. Ace even said that. He's kind of lightened up on that record, but he said it wasn't the right record for us to do at that time. And he was absolutely right. It was a fucking disaster. It was, I mean, it was as bad as the Titanic or the Hindenburg, man. It really, and I mean, Ace was like, fuck this, Curly, I'm out. And that was it, man. You know, like, I'm sorry, you know, so if people like it, I'm not bagging on it totally. There's some good songs on that record, but it's just a weird fucking album, man. It's fucking weird. It's, I mean, you know, as a kid, when that record came out, I mean, and this is after Unmasked and Dynasty. And while I like some of the songs on Dynasty, I Was Made for Loving You it felt like a goddamn betrayal to us Kiss fans and metal, just not Kiss fans, but hard rock and metal fans. I may have been a little guy, but I took my shit seriously even back then, man. And I didn't dig it when they went Kiss Go. Ace Frehley saved that record as far as I'm concerned. The Gene songs weren't too bad either.
Ace's songs. That's on the
Dude,
album.
Ace fucking rules. Let's just say it. He's the coolest dude to Kiss, man. I don't give a fuck. Yeah, the Demon looks cool, but you know,
Ace is cool, but that's the difference.
So James, you got anything to say about Charles's rant? Charles, are you done with your rant?
Well, I got one thing I'll sum
it up after.
I got one thing I'll say.
Hold on, James. Let's see what Charles. Charles, are you done with your
I
rant?
was just there. I can sum it up after James.
Okay, go ahead, James.
Look, man, it don't really matter to me either. But about 10 or 15 minutes before we started this, I was just looking around YouTube, and something popped up that said Ace alleges that Gene paid $200,000 to his ex-girlfriend for hush money. I saw that literally like 10 or 15 minutes ago. I don't know if you guys saw that.
oh yeah, yeah. He said it. I just on the way home, I was listening to well, kind of listening. I had my YouTube on my phone, but I was listening to it, and it was Ralph. He did a video, man, about it. And I will say this though, man, she might be crazy, but that Rachel Gordon chick's cutie, I think.
Yeah, Dr. Fuck is on top of this shit though, but it's a video every day.
Of course he is. It's the only news that matters, Mark.
I know.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
But the one thing I'm going to say though, and about Kiss is this, man. Yeah, they're kind of a joke now. Yeah, they're fucking, like you said, the Jerry Springer of hard rock metal, old school hard rock and metal, I should say. But nothing will ever taint to me, and maybe it's that 5-year-old boy who discovered Kiss and by extension discovered hard rock and metal. Nothing will ever taint that magical period from 74 to 78, maybe even 79 for me, you know, and that's all I can say about it, man. And for people who didn't experience it, I'm kind of fucking sorry for you because it was awesome.
It was.
Me too. Me too.
I mean, think about it. If Kiss goes down in a fiery plane crash in 1978 or 79, they are, I mean, I know it sounds weird because yes, they are a legendary band, but they're fucking gods. Okay. I'm telling you right now, if they'd have went down like Leonard Skinner did, hey, if Aerosmith, who very nearly bought that plane that Leonard Skinner went down, Aerosmith would be gods now. Now they're still legends, they're icons. I'm not taking anything away from them. They're fucking Aerosmith, but I think you guys know what I'm talking about, man.
Yeah, they're at their peak, so you know they were huge, man.
When an artist dies at their peak, look at Cliff Burton, look at Randy Rhoads,
Kurt Cobain,
shit, Jimi Hendrix.
Dude,
sorry,
Nirvana
I'm not a Nirvana fan.
Neither am I. That's why I said it. And I know who is a Nirvana fan in here. So
who is?
Charles, finish your rant.
Are you? Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
I like Nirvana a little bit, but yeah, but we still have a very watered down legacy with Kiss. And
sure,
you know, I think there could be one bit of good news. I've begged Ace and Peter all along to have some integrity. Don't go to Madison Square Garden. Hopefully Ace is pissed Kiss off enough to not invite him there, because if they angle some money, he's there.
He admitted it. He had flat out
$500,000.
500,000, I thought.
500,000. Oh,
wow, that's short.
I don't
wish-
think it's going to
I hope
happen.
they don't. I
And I hope
really
it don't. I don't want to see it. I mean, if I want to see Ace Frehley, I'll go see Ace Frehley now. And I have a few times. I don't want to see
Yeah.
that.
I don't
you
want to
know,
see
I don't
Ace
want to see
either.
geriatric Kiss. I'm sorry. I'm done. I'm done, man.
That, and I don't want
With
to
fucking
sell
with
out.
with copycat Chris and fake Fraley. I'm sorry, I just
Right.
don't, and that's why I've put my money where my mouth is. I have not gone. I will not go. If you offered me a free ticket, I'd still say yeah, no.
Exactly. So there's a fan out there, Alex Smith. Hey, you got Nikki Sixx and Kiss this week. Here you go, buddy.
Hey, no Sammy Hagar news. Sorry, Mark Dolly. But
Hey,
Jerry, you have some thoughts on this?
Just three things. Peter Chris, thank you so much for being quiet the last few years. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Number two, if you think Kiss is going away after the end of the road concert, ain't gonna happen. They will still be around doing something. I guarantee it. Three, I forgot three. Damn it, I had it in my head. Oh yeah, I agree with you. I hope Ace and Peter don't do that. You mentioned bands that still have a legacy. Take Led Zeppelin, for instance. Perfect example of fucking a legacy band right there. They knew when to quit, even though Bonham kind of decided his death decided the band, but they quit right there. That's why their legacy is so stronger today than anything Kiss will ever be.
Well, yeah, because they were like, we're done. When John Bonham died, they were like, that's it. It's over. There is no Zeppelin without him. And I've always, given Zeppelin the credit for that they took the high road, and because that is integrity. Now I got to admit, I didn't really care for most of those boys' solo projects afterwards. That's me though.
I love Big Log. God, that song's
but
so fucking awesome.
But to me, I mean, yeah, Zeppelin, yeah, because they quit at the top of their game, man. John died and it was over, and I've always respected them for that. So good point, Jer.
So
and they've been offered millions to reunite, and they still haven't done it.
Well, because Robert wouldn't do it.
Robert says he cannot do Led Zeppelin without
I know,
John
but
Bonham.
but he wouldn't do it. So they auditioned singers like Miles Kennedy and Mark Dolly, Sammy Hagar.
Now, I'm glad I didn't go through because that would have ruined it. That would have ruined their legacy if they did.
Yeah. So Mark Dolly, there's your Sammy Hagar.
Sammy Hagar's ruined enough bands. And I kid because people always want to lump me in with those Sammy Hagar haters. I'm not a Hagar hater. I love Montrose. I like a lot of Sammy's solo shit. Like I said on the Freeform Rock podcast and even my own, I'm not a fan of Van Hagar. I feel like both artists mutually neutered each other. I mean, you got I was excited when I first heard they were joining. Instead, I got like this top 40 bullshit, man. It about broke my heart. I thought it was going to be like a Sabbath and Ozzy situation all over again. And as far as the first album goes, David Lee Roth kept his end of the deal, but fucking Van Hagar sure didn't. And then after that, and then what's David Lee Roth do? He goes out with Skyscraper. It's like, well, if I can't beat him, I'll join him.
I like
and
Skyscraper.
that kind of ruined his career.
It's a cheesy album. After that, no.
If he'd have put out A Little Ain't Enough right after Eat 'Em and Smile, I don't think Dave's popularity would have waned. Now maybe I'm wrong.
Little Ain't Enough had corny vocals though. It's like,
but it was like, better than goddamn Skyscraper.
I know,
dude.
but it was Vegas Dave vocals to me. It's like,
yeah, kind of. I don't know. Like I said, man, Eat 'Em and Smile was a fucking masterpiece.
Oh, Eat 'Em and Smile rules, and I agree that should have been the 6th Van Halen album. And
it shits all over 5150.
Yes, it does.
What the fucking Van Hagar nuts?
I'm a huge 5150 album fan, but fuck,
why?
I like
it.
Why? It's not better than Eat 'Em and Smile. I'm not delusional. Like I'm not like Van Hagar's not can't touch.
I just okay. I mean, 5150. Like I said, man, as a guy growing up in the St. Louis Metro East area, I was like, oh wait, so we're gonna get heavy metal and fucking rock candy mixed with Everybody Wants Some and Atomic Pump. This should be cool. And instead I got fucking cheesy fucking, and I know that they started the keyboards on 1984. I'm well aware of that. But my God, man, you know what Sammy should have done?
Fair warning.
When he first started playing that bullshit for Sammy should have looked at him and said, hey, there's only one way to rock, Eddie, and this ain't it. I'm fucking out.
I love that joke. It never gets old.
Fuck.
Hey, but
No,
you
it
forgot
doesn't.
fair warning Saturday afternoon in a park. This was he was experimenting with his keyboard.
I know, but I like the. I don't know, man. There's just something missing. It just.
I know. It's not the same band. They
and
should've
Jerry
changed the
agrees
name.
with me.
They should have changed.
Don't you,
the
Jer?
name.
Yeah. Now I will say one thing. People blame Sammy for that.
I don't blame
But-
Sammy for that. I blame both of them.
Eddie,
I
Eddie
do.
is definitely
I do.
equal to
You do.
but Eddie's equally to blame for it. I'm sorry. You know,
He
Eddie-
is.
No,
Yes, he is.
He was forced into.
Yeah, I'm sure
dependency.
I'm sure Sammy put a gun to his head. No, he did not.
I'm sure
Eddie
he
wanted to go
did.
in that
Now you're
bullshit
talking
direction,
sense.
or
Now
David
you're
Lee Roth
talking-
wouldn't have left the fucking
But no,
band, dude.
But I
David
cannot
left because
stand.
of that shit.
I cannot stand Sammy Hagar than him. So
I get it.
Period. But yeah, he really ruined Van Halen. There's no doubt. But Sharon-
Eddie Van Halen ruined Van Halen.
Yeah.
Okay.
Alex was
Eddie
a big
Van
part of that
Halen
too.
I mean,
Alex.
look,
the Van Halen brothers were. In
I'm not
control.
giving Eddie Van Halen. I don't give a fuck how great of a guitar player he is, and he's one of the greatest to ever do it. I'm not giving him a free pass just because. Oh yeah, let's make. No, don't get me wrong. Sammy went along with it. He went. Hey Eddie, let's cut each other's balls off. Okay, sounds like a good idea. Whatever. Okay, whatever. I mean, I'm not going to blame Sammy completely. Now, am I saying Sammy's innocent in all of it? No, it's not what I'm saying at all. But I'm not going to give Eddie a get out of jail free card. He wanted to do that shit. He was all about it. All about it. Ugh,
absolutely,
terrible.
Ricky, 100%.
Yeah.
Terrible.
I can't drink tonight, guys, so I'm smoking some
I'm
ganja.
sorry,
It's
man.
okay.
On the
Can't
mark.
But we're talking about like what's that band? Chicken feed, chicken shit, whatever it's called. That's terrible.
Oh fuck! I love Sats on that. Michael Anthony background vocals. That album was great. I saw them live without Chad Smith. It was the dude from Mellencamp was playing. They were really good, man.
That's a badass drummer right there. What's his name? I can't remember his name.
Azoff, I think. Kenny Azoff.
That's a bad motherfucker right
Fuck
there.
yeah,
bro.
bald dude. He played in John Fogerty's band too. Fucking killer drummer. But let's get to some other bullshit. Are you guys done with this bullshit? Or you guys
One more.
I want to clarify for Mike. And I'm on the can't stand Hagar side. Jerry's the.
I
more-
understand. I know
Hey,
that.
have not-
I know
when it
you
comes
hate
to-
Hagar, and that's fine,
Yeah.
man.
When it comes to
James
Van-
does too. James
Yeah,
fucking
James
hates
can't
him.
stand Hagar.
I put on Hagar to piss him off, and he goes off the station.
I'm with Charles on Van
I
Hagar.
will
I
go
cannot
off the
stand
station.
Van Hagar.
Well, actually, when you came on, you like Jerry used to come on during the Duran Duran track. You come on right when Hagar plays, and it's like, how?
How
I
about
told
not
you I was
playing
going to play
Hagar?
him like the fifth song of the set, and you came in right when he started.
I mean, that's fine, but I'm still gonna leave.
I told you not to come in till he was over. Next time I'll text you and say, Hagar's over, come in.
That and Oingo Boingo, man. Oh.
That's the one.
Hey.
I was trying to think of that.
Listen, I haven't played
The
really
metal
any
station
Duran
presents
Duran
Oingo Boingo.
or any Oingo Boingo, but I've
Yeah.
been itchy to play some Oingo Boingo, so that might be when I get back on the radio. I might be playing some Oingo
Dude,
Boingo.
I love your show, dude. Play whatever you want, man. I love
Thank
it.
you. Yeah, you guys get a big.
I know,
block
but
in
I'm
there.
getting to the point where I might just change the name of the fucking station, man.
What is it called?
Dude,
That metal.
I play 90% metal on the station.
All
or
joking
hard rock.
around aside, I know you do, Mark. I know.
Yeah.
And well, I mean, Bushy don't even play half the goofy shit he used to. It was like he just
Yeah.
had to get it out of his system, I guess. But I mean, most of my DJs do play hard rock and metal.
I start my show with Rush, and then I go for like a 10-song block of like 80s hair metal. And then I go to like the thrash, Jerry's, Matthew Warner, he gets a playlist. I give Jerry a playlist, and I give Andy a playlist. They pick 3 sets, and
I've
then
listened to your show,
Yeah.
bro.
pretty cool.
I mean, look, and then there's my DJs like Samuel, who usually almost always plays hard rock and metal, but he will do this one block he calls the fuck it all block.
Yeah,
and boy, does he play what I was like, what? Till Tuesday? Voices carry? Sam, what the
Hey,
fuck?
I like
man?
that song. Shit. All
Yeah,
right,
Yeah,
I'll
but
put
but
that
that's
it's
on the set.
not metal.
You gotta know its place exactly.
Hey, she was on the Rush song. Okay.
I'm well aware of who she is.
If you haven't checked out Amy, man, check out her solo album. Do you like folk rock? It's kind of like that. It's not.
Well,
It's
there's
not
that one song that she did that was on the
Magnolia.
Jersey Girl
Oh yeah.
movie, where Ben Affleck's old lady dies, man.
Yeah.
And
She's
that
really
song's
good.
playing.
I have all her solo albums digitally.
Yeah, I've
dude.
heard her stuff.
Yeah,
She's not bad.
Her husband's
She's
Michael
not fucking
Penn.
metal, but
She's married to a Penn brother who's the singer,
Oh.
Michael Penn. Yeah.
I see.
So,
all right, man.
Anything else, guys? Next subject.
I don't know what else. What other?
Oh, I got other things.
One more, man. One more.
We were just
more.
going on like a raw thing here. Well, we got till the top of the hour. That's bullshit hour. That's what I call it. So we got like 23 more minutes.
Is that the BS session?
The BS part, like top of the hour, we BS, and then we start getting into the subject.
Well, I mean, you know, we all of us talking about these concerts. I mean, that's going to take a while.
Yeah, that's why. I'll rush it real quick. Okay,
I'm not.
No pun intended.
All right, man. Well, we have to talk about Dee Snider. He got outed as a masked singer last night. I didn't even know about that.
Oh, did he really? I never knew that.
He was He was in a girl in drag. He's playing drag with high heels. And he said that wasn't hard. He took it to 11. I thought I didn't watch it. I just read the article. But Dee Snider.
Okay, what?
I love Dee.
He got unmasked as the masked singer.
Did he win?
I don't know. He got unmasked.
I don't think so. No.
He was in drag.
Still going on. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. He was in a drag costume, like a girl with boobs and high heels.
Hey, one thing you can say about Dee.
What about Dee Snider? That's it?
No, he blames MTV Unplugged for being partly responsible for the demise of metal. What do you think about that, Charles?
Unplugged killed metal?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think Dee's lost his mind in his old age.
That would be some of Mark's favorite bands like Trickster, Ugly Kid Joe, that kind of shit.
Exactly.
I do like Trickster.
That's what killed metal.
They're not my favorite.
I'm thinking, and if you count those as metal, I mean, I'm not saying hair metal.
Oh, it's rock. It's hard rock. Trickster's rock.
I mean, it's not, but
Trickster sucks.
Yes.
Have you heard their later albums? Just asking.
No,
Yes.
I have no interest.
Well, check out their one album. I'll show you. I'll give you a song. If you don't like it, I'll leave you alone. That's what I do. I don't hammer some like one person does that like watches this all the time, Mr. Bob. Hi, Bob. But you keep going, Charles.
But I don't know about D. He's another one. Just runs his mouth. I think he became relevant. I love Twisted Sister, but another
First
guy.
3 albums are metal classics, old school metal classics, man.
Yeah, they are.
Go with Motley Crue and Kiss, and go find somewhere to relax and be quiet. Not gonna happen, unfortunately.
But as far as D going far in that show, it doesn't surprise me because the guy can still sing. The fucker has a set of pipes. You can't take that away from him.
They said he fooled them. They did. Oh, maybe he did win because they said you fooled me because I thought that was a girl. I was like, damn, I read that or something. Maybe he did win it. But what do you have any more thing to say about Dee Snider, Charles? Okay, Mike, your opinion, man.
Oh, about D?
Yeah.
Anybody who knows me knows. I mean, as a young kid growing up, my teenage years, Twisted Sister was an important band to me. Love the first 3 albums. Got to interview Eddie Fingers of Jada, which was a fucking honor. I mean, I ain't gonna lie, man. When that Come Out and Play shit came out, I tuned out. There's only like one song on that record I like, and that's The Fire Still Burns. The rest of the album, I hated it. I hated it then. I don't like it now. And it's a shame that was really, I mean, I know there was Love Is for Suckers, but to me, that wasn't really a Twisted Sister album. That was a Dee Snider album. I mean, let's be honest, which there's some good songs on that record. I'm not bagging on it completely, but it's just a shame that the band imploded because I think Twisted Sister should have been a lot bigger than it was. Like it's weird how some certain bands will have a misstep or they'll put out a record that maybe wasn't well received at the time, but then they can adjust it and do the next album and they do okay. Like a lot of people don't know, man, but if you do your research, Led Zeppelin 3 was not a universally loved album when it came out. I mean, now it is, but at the time it was not, and they were able to kind of, and then what do? They come out with Zeppelin 4, Zozo, whatever the fuck you want to call it. Boom. Yeah. But with Twisted Sister, man, it was like, it just, man, that album, that doing that Leader of the Pack shit just killed him, man.
Oh my, yeah.
But it was fucking awful. It's a terror. I mean, I was like, oh. I mean, I'm sorry, I love Kiss, but come on, man. And then
they took off the makeup.
The fuck were they thinking, man?
They took off the makeup too in the video.
Yeah. I mean, I was just like,
but they didn't get any play like Kiss when they took off. That was a fucking event. It's like, yeah.
Which was weird because it wasn't even the original members. It would have been a much bigger deal if Peter and Ace had still been in the band, but it was still cool, you know.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, I love Twisted Sister, but you know, D, I don't know. There's just times where it's like, dude, you are so bitter, you know. But you know, Twisted Sister, much like Quiet Riot, really don't get enough credit for what they did, you know. You know, again, there was a band who kind of imploded. They come out with fucking Metal Health. It's a huge hit. And I don't think Condition Critical is a bad record. You know, it's kind of funny that album's looked at as a failure. I mean, it did go double platinum. You know, most bands would kill to have double platinum because it didn't sell quadruple platinum. It was considered, it wasn't as big a hit as Metal Health. And then I guess with Kevin's Mouth and shit, they imploded, man. So, yeah. Some bands are there like a comet, and then other bands have longevity. It's like what was it that Jack Black said about your band, Mark? You got a bottle of sauce. I think he called it rockin' sauce or whatever. Yeah. And Rush was one of those bands that had a lot of sauce, you know. Yeah. And it's true. I mean, they were able to have a really, really lengthy career, you know. Not every band gets to do that.
And they went out with class.
They did. Oh, yeah. You can never say, well, Rush sold out. I mean, did Rush do shit that I didn't give zero fucks about? Yes, they did. Once they started getting really, really synth heavy, I ain't gonna lie. And I don't hate synthesizers. I mean, I love Deep Purple. I love their Ozzy albums had keyboards, for fuck's sake. Don Airey. I don't mind keyboards, but when a fucking record is drenched in them, when all you hear is keyboards and nothing else, fuck, I'm out, man. And that was a big problem during that time period. Everybody, because it was a new instrument and it was a new technology, everybody just went nuts with it. They went a little too fucking far, in my opinion. But that's my opinion.
Okay. So do you think that MTV Unplugged ruined metal, or?
No, I think that is a ridiculous statement. I don't think fucking Unplugged had anything to do. And another thing, let's be honest, man. Number one, metal will never die. Okay. I've been reading heavy metal's dying in fucking magazines since I was a little kid in 1979. Okay. So get the fuck out of here. What'll happen is certain trends will come along and it might make metal fucking reinvent itself. Yes. Yeah. I mean, you don't have New Woblum without punk rock, and you don't get bands like, I mean, I know some people hate new metal. I saw Rouse posted it, and I don't like all of it either. Some bands I like, some bands I don't. But you don't get new metal, and you don't get what I call the new wave of American metal without grunge. So, or whatever, alternative grunge. Because to me, the whole grunge thing, it was like, all right, we got a bunch of bands from Seattle. Let's just label it grunge because the way they dress. Oh my God. Because there were so many people. There's a lot of bands in that, like the Melvins and Alice in Chains and Soundgarden are more heavier, but there's a lot of bands, huh?
They're metal bands.
Yeah, but then you have other bands in Seattle that weren't really that heavy, but yet it was like, well, because they're all from the same area, we're just going to label it this one thing, you know? And I was like, So, I mean, it is what it is. It's stuck. I don't care one way or the other, but I think, I'll tell you what killed it. It was glam metal turning into something I don't think it was ever meant to be. It was glam metal evolving into, well, you know what? No, I'm not going to say devolving into hair metal. I mean, it's like Dee Snider said, and I did agree with him on this. Once those record companies out there realize, oh, fuck, there's gold out there in the Sunset Strip, and they could cookie cutter a fucking metal movement, that is when you got your, I mean, think about it. You get your first or second wave of glam metal bands. Good stuff. But then the Wieners and the Warrants and the fucking Britney Foxes and the fucking bullshit and the Firehouses and all the shit where it was more about the look and not about the
half my collection. How rude!
I'm sorry, Mark. I love you, man.
Not Britney Fox. I don't like Britney Fox. I abstain from that.
Fucking Cinderella wannabes. Okay?
I know.
There was no originality. It was a bunch of mini Rats and mini Motley Crues, and Even Poison, give me a fucking break, man.
Come
It's
on,
like people want to fucking compare it to Kiss. I'm like, at least Kiss has balls. At least Kiss rocks. Fucking Poison's like, I want action tonight. It's like fucking campfire music.
dude, it's
fucking
fun, mindless music. Sometimes you don't want to listen.
I like
not
mindless
fun.
music too,
It's
dude.
not
It's got to be
fun.
good.
But
Yeah.
Like a
It's
nail in your
goddamn
brain.
Partridge Family with fuzzy guitars. That's all Poison is.
oh
man.
God, you guys like Ghost.
With dirty lyrics.
You guys all like
Right.
Ghost. That's fucking
Yes, I
pop
love
shit.
Ghost.
It's pop shit, okay? So if I like something you
Yeah,
don't like,
yeah,
that's fine.
That's pop shit. Like,
Well, that's just my opinion. You guys love it. Enjoy. But
I don't love everything Ghost does.
Yeah.
I like Ghost.
but I got the whole
like
collect-
them.
I got the collection to play on that metal station.
But
and
I
Jerry's
do dig
collection.
them. I do dig them. And I don't, I mean, the whole pop thing, I'm going, okay. And again, I don't get you at all because you'll defend Def Leppard's shit after Pyromania to your dying breath. And that shit's totally pop. There's not even anything rock or metal about most of it anymore. You know, and of
It's-
course,
I
I
like that-
love how it's so popular now for Joe Elliott to go, oh, and he always flips his hair back and he says, oh, you know, we were never a metal band. You know, we were always about the glam rock. Hey, I know y'all liked Mott the Hoople and Bowie and Sweet.
That's why I
and
like
fucking-
them. They still
Yeah,
sound
and,
like that.
and T-Rex. I like that shit too, dude. But Def Leppard was a new wave of British heavy metal band. I was
I
fucking
agree.
there.
I agree with you.
remember. So just shut up, Joe.
Did they
Stop.
label
Yeah.
themselves metal, or was that the record company that did it?
no, let me
Let's
ask
just
the
say they
panel.
didn't seem to have a fucking problem with it when they were selling records and people like me were buying their albums. They were just fine being called metal then. But then all of a sudden, when they sell out, and they did, then
They
it's
did.
we were always a pulp.
Armed out.
Yeah.
You know, but
All
I'm a
right.
big fan of Tim Armed Def Leppard.
Hey guys, we got
Yeah,
to
no, I need to ask this. I need to ask
Yes,
this
Charles,
before
hit
you
me.
shift whatever, please. To me, Ghost, which by the way, Joe Elliott did Spillways. Ghost
Didn't
is
like
what
it.
Def Leppard should have been. Honestly,
Ooh.
Uh,
Huh.
there's a
Never
reason why-
thought about that before.
There's a reason why Joe Elliott likes them because that's the way Def Leppard could have been if they didn't lose their fucking nuts along with an arm, and that's a fact.
yeah.
That's serious.
I mean, especially if you see them live, they're pretty heavy live. I've always said Ghost should do a live album.
which
Oh,
is
yeah.
fine.
They're heavier on on live than they are on their records.
All right, man. Can we move on to James?
Yeah, I'm sorry, James.
It's okay.
Oh, no,
James,
it's okay.
so what do you think about
It's not-
the D. Schneider saying MTV Unplugged ruined metal?
I agree with everybody else. That's a stupid statement. I think it had anything to do with it. But the dude is a legend. I have to give him respect. Those first three albums are golden. I mean, they're golden. He's like a really great frontman. So I respect him a lot. I'm not a huge Twisted Sister fan, but I do dig them first two or three albums. They are good. And I think the coolest thing D. Snyder ever did was, with King Diamond. No, it was with Frank Zappa when they went to testify in court.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
the PMRC thing. Yeah.
Yeah. That's definitely one of the coolest things he did was show up there like that. But I got a lot of respect for the guy. But I don't agree with him at all. Unplugged is like a whole separate deal from, just anything else to me. I don't think it affected.
And there were a
metal
lot of great
whatsoever.
records that came from that.
Yeah.
There was a lot of great records that came from that. I mean, Jesus Christ, even Kiss did Unplugged for fuck's sake and did a good job of it. I mean,
Alice in Chains.
Alice in Chains.
Even
Nirvana.
I admit Nirvana's was good.
Yeah. And I'm not a big Nirvana fan, but I will give them that.
They brought
Eric
in the
Clapton's Unplugged was amazing.
well, because they brought in
Tesla
another
did a
guitar
whole
player.
goddamn record,
Yeah.
doing
Tesla.
that shit.
I love Tesla. I think was the second one on there on MTV Unplugged. Something they had a little guest spot, not a whole episode to themselves. Remember
Yeah,
they
it
split
started
some of
that
the
way. Yeah, it
Yeah.
started that way where because I know Squeeze was on the first one.
Yeah.
Kind of weird. Yeah, it was like segmented. So
they segmented it. Yeah.
So,
And
yeah,
then
well, Unplugged didn't kill metal.
no.
No way. Metal didn't die. It was just that crappy shit Mark likes. That's all.
I like a lot of fucking like at least 80% stuff you like. So shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
I let me be different. I don't like about 20% of yours either. So, but
Everybody's different, and
Yeah,
no
we're
two
different.
music fans or metalheads ever
Yeah.
agree 100% on everything.
hey, dude out there, you see how we could argue about the metal and I'm not calling them misinformed?
Who says that?
Well, I don't want to
Doesn't
say his name.
matter. It
Doesn't
doesn't
matter. But this
Doesn't
is how you
matter.
argue music, man. It's fun. Hey,
It's subjective,
yeah,
pathetically subjective, if I may say.
it's fun.
So, you
but-
know, fuck off, man. If people can't handle your opinion, then fuck them. You know, grow a spine, you fucking pussies. I mean, I don't get that. Like, I'm not going to be like, oh, because I might go, wow, I don't really get it, but I'm not going to like insult you or put you down. Now, when I was younger and I was more arrogant, yeah, I was kind of a dick. I mean, most of us, I think, at one point in our lives was a gatekeeper. But that was a long time ago. I got older and I got wiser, and I'm just like, look, man, it's opinions and it's all subjective. And what's great to one person may absolutely suck to somebody else's ears. And that's okay, man. I mean, just agree to disagree and move on.
Except Sammy Hagar.
Hey, James, you got anything else to say? So I move on to Jerry. We only got like 7 minutes, man.
Nah, man, I'm good. Like I said, I like
Okay.
Twisted Sister. Cool, those first 2 or 3 albums, but I'm not a huge fan. I just respect Dee Snider for what he did back in the day, pretty much.
Jerry.
I mean, when the Unplugged thing started to come out, that was kind of like the death rattle for that type of rock and roll, and then the new Nirvana, that type of bands came through. So I don't think Unplugged killed it per se. It's just the way things were leaning at that time. So as far as Dee Snider is concerned, I put him up there with Kevin DeBro, Ronnie James Dio, with some of the best metal singers ever in history. But if you ever heard that he does "We're Not Gonna Take It" with just the piano, you ever heard that?
Yeah.
Fucking fantastic.
Yeah.
Fucking fantastic.
Pretty good, yeah.
But as far as him lately mouthing off, dude, man, just let it go, dude, man. Just, I mean, if you're trying to stay relevant or what,
I think he's just a bitter fuck, man. He's a bitter old fucker. And
now I do have a problem with his guitar player though.
Oh,
Because
Jesus. Yeah, he was nice to them because he did a podcast with them. Motherfucker wanted to charge me $20 for a picture.
They always say be careful meeting your heroes because you may not like him if you meet him in person.
Was Eddie a dick to you, dude?
Yes.
No, he wasn't a dick. He wouldn't take a picture unless you charge him $20.
Dude, I bought a signed picture from him for $20. And I said, hey man, can we get a picture? He goes, that's another $20 unless you buy a shirt.
Oh, see, we took pictures and got our stuff, but we were interviewing him.
You were interviewing him, yeah.
All right.
He did that with
it was a different,
yeah.
it was a different experience.
He's been one of my favorite. He's been one of my favorite guitar players growing up, so it's kind of disappointing. But yeah,
Times are hard though, man. He's just trying to make a living.
I get it, but still, man, I bought so much Twisted Sister. I don't know. Hey, you're right.
I understand what you're saying, though, Jerry. I do, but it could have been worse. He could have been like, "Fuck you," I've been a complete dick.
No, he was okay. We said, "Okay, cool, man. We'll come back." But Jerry, anything else?
No, that's cool, man. I mean, we've talked a lot about that.
I agree with all you guys. In the essence of time, I'm just going to do like a couple things because Ted Nugent announced his final tour. And then Iron Maiden singer Blaze Bayley suffers a heart attack, undergoes bypass surgery.
Yikes. Well, I hope he's all right.
Yeah, so those are the final. I'm going to use my time on that so we could get to our episode of 6 great songs and shows and 4 bad shows, concerts, whatever you call them. And I also have a guy who's been on here once so far, Scribble. He gave me a list because he wants to see what you guys think of his list.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
So let's start with, I'm going to start with James. Your number 6 concert of all time, the good one. Oops. Mic's off. Turn your mic on. Mic is off. There
Can you
you
hear
go.
me now?
Yeah.
Can you hear me? Okay. I didn't rank them, but I can just name one off my list if you want me to do that.
Go for it.
Uh, my first one, and like the first concert that came to my mind, honestly, is Pink Floyd, 1994. Watching them do Dark Side of the Moon all the way through. That was epic, dude. Um, the best light show, the best sound. Gilmore, his guitar sound was so good, and he was just so good, man. That show has to be in my top five somewhere, man, because it was just unbelievable. And I do feel pretty privileged that I got to see Pink Floyd. So, it wasn't Roger Waters wasn't there, but I still very much love all those Floyd albums, and my favorite's David Gilmour anyway. So, but yeah, Dark
Mine
Side of
too.
the Moon all the way through. Oh, the light show, man, the sound. It was Carter Finley Stadium with 60,000 people. It was pretty epic, man. So that's the first one that came to my mind right off the top of my head.
I had the concert.
Roger
somewhere.
Waters left Pink Floyd, so
Yeah.
fuck him.
Yeah,
All right. Then we go to you, Charles. You're number 6.
Well, I mean, no Chuck Charles show would be complete or anything I'm into or whatever without mentioning this artist. Great concert. I'm torn between whether I want to see him get back with his band or not. Would be Noel Gallagher's High Flying Birds. Seen them at the one of my favorite venues ever. What's the name of it? I'm sorry, I'm a little tired from last night. The Blues Club that Dan Aykroyd owned.
Blues Club.
House
Blues,
of Blues.
House of Blues.
House of Blues. One of my favorite venues ever is House of Blues.
Yeah.
Right.
Like acoustic's always great there, and I like being able to see the bands. So it was a great show. His banter was better, almost as good as the music, which is saying something. So great moment for me. It was kind of a fanboy moment, but it was a great concert. So
What
all
about
about the music, no fireworks and no flash. It was just all about the music. That's what it
Nice.
does.
anything else, Charles?
No,
Okay, Mike. Metal Mike, what's your number 6?
Oh man, I'm kind of with James. It's really going to be hard for me to rank these, and I've been to so many great shows. So later on, I may have a few honorable mentions, but one that comes off my mind is Metallica, the Justice for All tour with Queensryche opening on Operation Mindcrime. It was fucking epic, man.
Is that Mindcrime or Empire?
No, it was Mindcrime, dude.
Mindcrime
Mindcrime
is
had
that-
just come out.
That was 88,
Mindcrime,
dude.
yeah. Mindcrime
Empire
had
was
just
90
come out.
Empire was 91 or 90.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I mean, holy fuck, Queensryche was amazing, and the crowd was into him. But then Metallica came out and just fucking stomped dick, man. It is the first, and may I be blunt, only time I've ever seen Metallica live. That's how hardcore I am, fellas. If a band puts out a shitty album or a series of shitty records, I don't support it, and I don't support them. So I've not seen Metallica since, but I will see them this year. So
That's
I will too if my legs fucking start to work.
Pantera one or both? The
Pantera, both. We had like a package deal, so we went ahead and got tickets. for
I
both.
got both dates too. We're gonna come in late for one of the bands on the second day. What is it? What's that band? They suck.
Your Death Punch.
Yeah, I'm not gonna go see. We're gonna drink. In the
Oh.
we're gonna drink in the parking lot on that shit. But Jerry, what's your number 6?
Mike mentioned this already. It's the Metallica Queensryche show. I was not familiar with Queensryche when that album came out. That's what got me. That's why I couldn't remember if it was Mindcrime or Empire. But
And they
what a
did
great-
most of Mindcrime.
That was at the West Palm Beach Auditorium when I lived in Florida, man. What a great show that was, man.
Yep.
I mean, it was general admission, and it was kind of fucking rough to be in the general admission crowd for that concert, man, because it was swaying, man. I thought I was gonna get fucking
Oh,
killed.
fuck,
all the way to
dude.
the fucking back, man. That's how fucking right.
And
that was.
everybody knew every word to every fucking song.
But you know what? There was no fighting.
Nope.
Everybody picked each other off the fucking ground.
Yeah.
It was a
Well, that's
fucking
because there was
party.
etiquette and protocol, dude.
Right. But and it was also the tour, the show that got me into Queensryche, because I was not. I mean, I was familiar with the Lady Wore Black, something like that at the time, but I really started liking them after that. So
My big brother had the first couple of Queensryche albums, so I knew who they were. But after that, I went and bought Mindcrime immediately, and I still think that album is their masterpiece.
Yeah.
So yeah, just a great show. Mine was at Kiel Auditorium, which is no longer there, but saw some really cool shows there.
Yeah, that was one of the greatest shows I've ever been to, man.
Okay, then my number 6, and then I'll go to Scribble's number 6, is you know, knowing me, you would think this guy would be higher because I at least saw him like 6-7 times, and I'm so grateful because a lot of people tell me they never got to see him. It's with my brother Tim Newbold, which we just saw a concert last week, which the next day my legs went out. Yay, concert. I don't know. But it was Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, the Full Moon Fever tour.
Wow. That must have been awesome.
Oh
yeah.
my God. He went, there's like a little, dude, he does these slow motions. It's like, wow.
My biggest
He's like a fucking
regret.
orchestra fucking leader.
Never seen him live, man. My
Right
biggest
here.
fucking regret.
Yeah, me too, Jer. Me too.
Oh God. I couldn't get tickets to see him at his final show at the Hollywood Bowl, and then he died the week later. I was like so devastated. That's the second person I cried for. I cried for Neil Peart and I cried for Tom Petty.
Yeah, Tom's death affected me because my mom was a huge fan of his, and I'd lost her a few months before, and then he died. And I just remember going, well, Mom, at least you can rock out to Tom Petty now if there is an afterlife. So, you know, but yeah, it was just like, man, that really bummed me out.
If I'm not wrong, I think the Hooters opened up for him, and I like the Hooters, and I still like the Hooters. I think they're a fun band from Philadelphia, kind of pop rock. They're the ones who co-wrote Time After Time with Cyndi Lauper, Eric Hyman, and Brazilian. They had this instrument to go like a malacca. They call themselves the Hooters. But the second album got really like country, hard, grungy stuff, like protesty music. It says something about like talking about a satellite. It says, "Hush, little children, now don't you cry. God's gonna buy you a satellite." You know, going off on those preachers, dude. So they were good. I was on that tour, so I got 2 good bands that I loved. And then we get to Scribble's number 6, BB King. No explanation, just BB. Oh wait, yeah, BB King.
Okay, legend.
Yeah. Anything about BB King, guys? You ever want to see
I
BB King?
would love to have seen him. I never had an opportunity.
I never got to see him, but I did get to see another blues legend twice now. I saw him with the Experience Hendrix tour, which had Zakk Wylde in it and fucking Johnny Lane and oh my God, a bunch of people. The guys that used to be in the Jimi Hendrix, not the Experience, but the Band of Gypsies was there. Kenny Wayne Shepherd, Los Lobos. They actually did a few Chuck Berry tunes because Chuck Berry had just recently passed away, and it was amazing. And it was Buddy Guy. Saw Buddy Guy. I got to see him twice, actually. I just saw him on my birthday a couple of years ago, too, and it was really, really cool.
Nice. So, James, what's your number 5 or what your next one is?
Yeah, man. While you guys were talking, I was just like, I just remember like 2 more really epic concerts. So yeah, like when we finish this, if we're all gonna have some honorable mentions, I definitely
we'll have some honorable mentions. I think I got 2.
Yeah, because it's like but I'm gonna go with the list that I wrote off the top of my head. The next concert I'm gonna say, and like I said, I didn't rank them, but Clash of the Titans.
Oh yeah.
Oh fuck.
Alice in Chains opening the first tour, Megadeth Rust in Peace tour, Slayer Seasons in the Abyss tour, and Anthrax Persistence of Time tour. Dude, that concert killed, man. It was so epic, and just Megadeth and Slayer. Oh my God, dude. It was so good and so heavy. And when we got there like 2 hours before the show, the damn crowd was chanting Slayer like 2 hours before the show even started. That's not a lie, dude. When we walked in there, before Alice in Chains ever come on, all you heard was Slayer, Slayer everywhere, dude.
Oh, it doesn't surprise me.
It was so heavy, dude. And it was just so evil looking with the red lights and just the stack of Marshall amps and the big upside down crosses. It was wicked, man. And
best thrash album of all time.
Oh yeah. I had to agree, man. Yeah, I had to agree. And Yeah, get to see Dave Lombardo, original Slayer, on that tour, and Megadeth with Marty Friedman and Dave Mustaine was epic too, because I love me some Marty Friedman and Dave Mustaine. So that was awesome, man. And Alice in Chains killed it, and nobody knew who they were, but everybody knew who they were when we left. That's for sure.
So
And,
they got a good reaction where you were at, because in
yeah,
some places they didn't.
Yeah,
I heard
that's
that
what
there were some people
heard.
booing him and throwing shit at him, and Frankie Bello in that excellent Get Thrash documentary says Lane would jump right out and beat the fuck out of the guy who threw something at him, and then get right back up and sing. He goes, Frankie Bello's like, he believed in what he was doing, and that's fucking metal.
Yeah, I mean, they were
Anthrax rules.
Yeah,
they were.
Anthrax was great too, man. I mean, Charlie Benante, it was like him at his peak, man. I love that guy. So it definitely was one of the most epic metal shows, probably the most epic metal show I've seen, dude.
Never came to my town. Never got to see Clash of the Titans, unfortunately.
Another band
breaks
I
my
never.
heart.
So good.
Excuse me, another band I always regret never seeing is Slayer, man. Always.
Oh, are you kidding me?
I can give two shits about Anthrax. I was never a fan of them, but man, I would love to see Slayer, man. Love to fucking see Slayer.
Yeah, Slayer, one of the best live bands I've ever seen.
Absolutely, dude. I'm glad they retired when they did, because they went out at the right time, and I respected that, man. I didn't want to see them go, but they went out when they all still fucking played, dude, and do their thing. So
Gary King says he didn't want to go out.
Yeah,
he didn't. That was Tom. Tom was done.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tom was done, and he's the singer, man. Plus, he's like 3 or 4 years older than the rest of the guys, dude. He was done, and you can't replace that, dude.
Though, Kerry's got another project, and I'm hearing that it's in the. I don't know. He hasn't officially named it, but I heard he trademarked the term Blood Rain, and rain spelled as in like rain and blood. And I'm like, that's got to be the name of the band, and if it is, that's badass.
That is pretty badass.
But I will say this about Slayer. I mean, one of the things, I know there was some controversy about them getting Gary Holt. Oh, without Jeff Hanneman, it's not Slayer. Well, here's the interesting thing about that. The Exodus guys and Slayer guys are buddies. And they had both, Jeff and Gary were very close, and they'd both promised each other that if anything had happened to the other, that they would have to replace them. So in other words, if Gary had died, Jeff would have been doing double duty with Exodus.
I never knew that. I never knew
that. That's what I'd heard. And I don't know if that's true, but I had heard that. So Gary was kind of like Jeff's hand-picked guy. So I'm like, well, fuck, it's Gary fucking Holt, man. That guy rules.
Yeah,
it's not Tommy Thayer.
Right.
No. He's his own guy.
Yeah.
So he's a
And that's one thing Ace said in his interview I did agree with. Tommy Thayer couldn't fucking write a guitar solo as cool as Ace, even on his best day. Give me a break. What the fuck that pussy ever do? Fucking Black and Blue. Get the fuck out of here.
So let's go to you. Go to you, Charles. Are you done, James?
Yeah, I'm done. Yeah, I'm done.
Okay, Charles, what's your number 5?
And I'm with kind of like with most of the guys on here. I don't really have a ranking except my number 1.
Okay.
Is obviously my number 1. These were all great concerts. And this is your favorite band, Rush.
Nice.
The Clockwork Angels, right?
Sure.
Is that the name of
Yeah.
last album? Yeah.
That's
Saw that
before
tour.
R40. Yeah.
Yeah, I was very casual fan of them. We're going into that, kind of went on a lark. Was absolutely blown away by a 3-man band. I've seen Slipknot that has like 22 people on the stage, and Rush could do more with 3. And that's enough said right there. And it gave me a newfound respect to that group and made me become interested in them. So that's a good thing when you go see a show with no preconceived notion and you walk away a bigger fan.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Too bad. And another band that quit while they were ahead.
Yeah.
Not only with just real passing.
Yeah.
I hope they stay. Be an example to others.
Fucking Getty needs to make another solo album, man. I like My Favorite Headache.
I don't see anything in the future where Rush will get back together. Sorry.
No, it's done.
That shit that Alex has made lately, that was horrible. Envy of None.
I mean, how do you have Rush without Neil? How?
I mean, they could do a one-off show with guest drummers, maybe. But
Well,
that's
they could get a new band together with Alex and him and a drummer and call it something else.
Sure, absolutely.
Sure,
yeah.
Call it
sure,
the
but it
three-
ain't gonna be Rush.
The Three Stooges or something, you know. They
Yeah,
love the
develop
Three
their
Stooges.
songs.
You know, all three of them love the Three Stooges, especially
mean-
Alex and Getty.
It's kind of like the whole Pantera thing, you know. It's like I don't have a problem with them doing what they're doing, even though they're calling it Pantera, because I feel like it's a tribute to the Abbott brothers and the music that they did, and people want to hear those songs live. Now, if they were to record a fucking brand new album and still call it Pantera, then I'd have a problem with it. But I don't think that's going to happen, because if they do, I think they're going to do what Thin Lizzy did. They'll fucking change the name of the band where, yeah, they do a Thin Lizzy live act as a tribute, but Black Star Riders, when it's new music, is its own separate thing.
I
And
love
I
their
think
new album.
if they fucking do that, they're not going to call it Pantera, but that's a big if. I don't even think that's going to happen. I mean, it's not like Charlie and Zach don't have 100 other projects or 100 other things they got to do too. So, you know,
Exactly.
there you go.
Yeah, Charles, anything more?
No, just Rush was an awesome band. Totally. Great
Amazing,
show.
amazing live band.
Okay,
Yep.
Metal Mike, what's your number, whatever? Or we're
All
doing
right,
6 bands. You
Yeah,
don't-
man.
you don't
Right.
try to-
And like I said, there's just so many honorable. God damn, it's hard to mention, narrow them down. But one of them though, and it was a really cool because there was no opening band, and it was in a small club. And before they go on, they actually played. There's this huge movie screen, and they're playing like old school videos, really what they called promos back then, of all the bands that influenced them. So you're seeing Leonard Skinner, you're seeing Kiss, you're seeing AC/DC, you're seeing Black Sabbath, and the band I'm talking about is Down. It was an amazing 2-hour show. They did two
James just
fucking
got a hard
sets.
on. James.
It was fucking amazing, man. And it was the lineup that had Rex Brown. So I've seen Pantera several times, but just to see that lineup, and it was after, unfortunately, Dimebag had died. So it was really, it was just an amazing show, man. And Phil fucking killed it. Pepper killed it. Jimmy Bower's amazing. The whole fucking band. Kirk, of course. I'm a huge Crowbar fan. So yeah, an amazing show, man. And it was so intimate. It was just a fucking packed club with, I mean, just overstuffed with people, man. Fucking rocking out to Down. It was amazing.
All right, Jerry.
It was a shame in that when I was 16 or 17, I didn't have a camera or a means to
know.
record a certain concert because, man, it's so you forget most of it when you're 30, 40 years ago when you see a show. But I was fortunate to see Boston on their third stage tour. When I was
Oh,
16 years
nice. My brother went to
Tampa.
that. There was 2 nights in St. Louis, and he went to both.
But just be able to see Boston live with Brad Delp and that,
Oh,
people
man.
shit on third stage. I happen to really like third stage. I know
I
it's
think
kinda
all 3 of
softer,
the Boston albums are good. The
But,
first 2 are
man,
better, but
but what a great show. Night Ranger opened for him. It was a great fucking
Mark? Yeah, Mark.
great fucking show, dude. And fucking Brad Delp's one of the best rock vocalists ever, man. The genius of Tom Schultz and the songwriting ability, just incredible. And to see that live back then when I was a 16-year-old kid, just fucking blew me away. It still blows me away today.
Well,
that I
dude,
did that.
I remember being a little kid and I think it was we ended up buying the record, but I think again it was like I've said, our musical mentors, my older cousin Mitch, who's no longer with us, may he rest in peace, and my surrogate big brother who lived across the street from me, Kevin Barnes, and he was like a big brother to my older brother. He introduced us to Boston, and when I heard, he told me, well, the guy they recorded it in his basement, and I just remember that blew my mind. I was like, what? He recorded this? And because that album, the production is just fucking amazing, man.
MIT graduate.
Yeah. But you know what's funny is the record company thought he was in the studio. He
Yeah.
fooled them. He fooled them, man. They had
Thought they were in
no
Los
idea.
Angeles or something like that.
Motherfucker was recording in his basement. That fucking rules, man.
Yeah. So anything else, Jerry?
Nah, that's cool, man. Like I said, I was just fortunate enough to see that. I've seen him a few times without Brad, and they were still good. I mean, face it, I don't call Boston a scab band because it was basically Tom Schultz anyway. So I don't have any feelings about seeing Boston nowadays. So, but nothing compared to seen him live with Brad.
Well,
though, man.
unless they got a guy who looked and sounded just like Brad Delp. then
Well,
I'd be
they
like,
did
"Oh,
good
damn."
with Michael Sweet. Pretty cool.
I
Did see him with
second,
Michael Sweet.
I second Jerry. I saw him with Brad, and it was pretty cool. So
Well, then
Great, one of the greatest rock singers ever. I don't care what anybody says, man.
in the upper quadrant, that's for sure.
yeah. And then we get to my number 5. I think I have one friend in here, and it's probably going to be James on this one because I think all you motherfuckers. Well, Jerry might be a friend on this one. Well, even Charles might be a friend because this might be the era he likes.
Would you just
The
get
first
on with it?
What are you talking about? Just get on with it. I'm kind of
Well, you got me all on the edge of my seat. Come on,
all
man.
right. U2, the Joshua Tree tour. I saw them at the LA Coliseum. They fucking sold that bitch out, I think 3 or 4 nights. Fucking the Pretenders opened for them when Johnny Marr was the guitar player in the band. Fucking, they came out and fucking, you just saw the red light, the back screen, them walking out to their instruments, and you hear the Streets Have No Name just fucking going. Then the lights, and then he starts singing, and the fucking spotlight comes on him, and the crowd just goes. Whoa. You fucking Bono is one of the amazing frontman I've ever seen in my life, and that concert was just mind blowing to me. They were on top of their game on that tour, and every tour basically, because they have the James, your voice.
I'll have to take your
Turn
word
your mic
for it,
on.
man.
Turn your mic on, James.
Damn, my wife's doing it. I'm sorry, but yeah, I love you too. Also,
Yeah.
up to a certain point, anyway.
Yeah.
I never got it. I never got U2. I've tried. Like, I don't hate them, but you have no doubt. You are right though, man. You cannot doubt their. I mean, they are fucking huge, man. Like, and then I go, well, what's wrong with me? Like, why don't I get it?
I saw those guys, man, too. They're on my list, but I will say I saw them about 2008, 2009, and took my ex-girlfriend there because she was a big fan. And I dug them, so we went, and it's definitely one of the best shows I've seen, dude. They were really great, and they had a damn spaceship up above the stage. It was just wild, their whole show. But U2 was so good, man. If they would have come and played in my living room, they still would have sounded great without
Well,
all
I've
that
heard
other-
they're a great live band. I'm never going to say, well, they're, they suck or they're not. It's just one of them bands where, I mean, they had a few songs I liked, but I just never understood why people, I mean, my God, man, they act like they're another Beatles or Zeppelin. And I just don't hear
they
it,
don't, they never put them. They're not Liam Gallagher. They don't say
No, they don't, dude. But you got
gloves are off. Gloves are off.
You two are huge, though, dude. I mean, they are a legacy act. They are huge, man. You cannot deny that. I mean, it's like, I mean, that's one reason where I think if I had a rock and roll Hall of Fame, mine would have much more integrity than them fucking chumps and Rolling Stone. Because for one thing, I would induct bands or artists that I don't really care for because I go, well, fuck, they've had a Hall of Fame career, and U2 would be one of them, man. I mean, you cannot deny their impact, dude. I mean, they've been around, because to me, a Hall of Fame career, it's have they been big and have they been doing what they've been doing for a long time? And the answer for U2 is yes, man. They've been doing it for fucking decades now. Hall of Fame.
U2 is not like James, to exclude you. It's fans like Mark. That's what makes it.
Hey, I don't pound you on the head with U2. I'm not that other guy.
You brought up Liam Gallagher. The motherfucker's never said he's better than the Beatles. So stop fucking bringing that up. And it's
a joke.
The U2 thing is the fans. Nobody cares about the band. The band's okay. They're okay. But I'm with Mike. I don't get the adulation. Like, what am I missing? It's like Radiohead or Coldplay. I don't get that. Like,
but I got to be honest with you, Charles. I'm not real big on Oasis either. I don't really get that.
I understand that.
But and I know a lot. But you and people I respect and like Dr. Fuck. I mean, Ace is great, and I'm just like, man, these guys are like wannabe Beatles to me. I just don't get it.
That's fine, but they're not on U2's level. I'm not trying to say Oasis.
No, they're not. But I didn't remember hearing that rumor, but I heard that was bullshit. That he didn't really say that. That was somebody started.
Charles knows I like a lot more Oasis than I hate. So it's just I can't listen to them consecutively. But
Okay, maybe somebody's not on this show, but I do know of fans of you two that are elitist douchebags. Okay, the next band.
hey, I kind of agree with that. But yeah, I'm stuck with him because I'm not a fake friend. But
Wow.
hey, you take him as they go, as long as he doesn't like go overboard. I've blocked him a lot of times and let him back because I'm nice.
Good.
But
Let's
then
move
we
on.
get to Scribbles number 5, new metal band POD. I like the first 2 albums. That's about it. I don't know if I'd want to see them live.
I
Nah.
think I saw POD at an Ozfest once. And
Yeah, they
not
were
really
there.
not really my thing, you know, but hey, to each their own.
Yep.
Um,
So then we get anything to say about POD, Jerry? You too?
I lost, I lost faith in you two after Rattle and Hum. So
Well, that was
I
just
told you,
well, that I was talking about when you guys liked him, the Joshua Tree tour.
I've never seen it, so I couldn't tell you. But I
Oh,
like
okay.
that. I like songs off that album. So
Did you like Rattle and Hum live footage? About the same.
yeah,
That's the tour.
well, they got Angel Harlem on that and
No,
Desire.
but the live footage was the Joshua Tree tour, and it ended in Arizona.
I don't
in
know about
Tempe.
that. Dude.
Yeah, that was the Joshua Tree tour. Rattle and Hum was documenting that tour on top of their game because they knew they were going to change the next album. They've already had it planned out. They're fucking geniuses. That's why they filmed Rattle and Hum to get that. They knew that was it. But on that sound. So then we get to number 4, Charles.
Oh man, that's what I'm saying. This is in the order. So I'm sure somebody out there might call me out on this one because they were fucking phenomenal. I didn't see them on their own. I saw them at Ozfest, but I have to count Ozfest as a separate entity because one of the worst fucking shows I seen was on that same Ozfest. Obviously, Black Sabbath with Bill Ward. What a fucking great fucking live event, man. It ruled, and also Judas Priest was on that Ozfest too. And they were fucking phenomenal with KK. With Black Sabbath live, with Bill, especially with Bill Ward, it's just an honor to have seen that, and very happy to, and it ruled. So yes, metal like a motherfucker.
You
Right
guys keep
there.
talking about all these good concerts. Some more good concerts keep coming into my head. So I got fucking we're just gonna rattle off the honorable mentions, and we're not gonna talk about them that much. But so anything more, Charles?
Nope, Black Sabbath forever.
James?
Okay.
All right. So my number 4. And Charles, also one point out, by the way, Slayer was at that Ozfest too.
Slayer,
You were talking about. It
Correct.
was Slayer, Judas Priest, and the Sabbath. That was epic, dude.
Yeah.
But,
dude, that was a great fucking lineup, man. And I'll
oh,
get to
the
that in a
whole, the
minute.
whole show. Yeah. It's got to be one of my, man, the whole show from the second stage to the headliners, it was metal, totally metal. Just, so many good bands. Lamb of God, Slipknot. They were both of them were on the second stage, dude.
Hate
Stevie
breed.
Wonder,
Fucking
Super
hate
Dork.
breed.
Black Label Society.
Yeah, Devil Driver, dude. There's like so many good bands that year, dude. So that is
It
definitely
was one of the best Ozfest ever, in my opinion.
Absolutely, dude. But my 4th one, I guess. I'm gonna say what a concert that a couple of you guys have already said, but it was pretty epic for me and my best friend. That was the Metallica Justice Tour. They also had Queensryche opening up. I gotta tell you, man, the 2 times I saw Queensryche open up for Ozzy and Metallica, they went over all right, but not great. Like pretty much the audience there was like pretty much chanting for Ozzy and Metallica in between some of their songs.
Oh, really?
So,
No, they got a pretty good reaction when I seen them. I mean, don't get me wrong, everybody was there to see Metallica, James. But
yeah.
but they performed a big part of Mindcrime, man, and it was cool.
Yeah, I guess a lot of people in Fable just didn't know them yet or something. Maybe they were just starting to break with
I'm the same way. Same way.
But because I saw them open for Ozzy in '86. I don't know what tour they were on then, but again, they just went over okay, But the Metallica Justice show, it was epic. They were to me like the peak of their powers. we ended up getting backstage passes to go back and meet Metallica after the show. And I've showed you guys and probably everywhere 1,000 times the pictures of us with Metallica and with that Justice box set that they sent us 30 years later in the mail. And we made
That's
our
awesome.
picture
That's so fucking
book.
cool.
So forever, we're in page 84 and 85 of the Metallica Justice box set book with our pictures, dude. So just that whole deal, man, that whole deal, you know, and they were so heavy and they were so good, man. Like you said, everybody knew the words to every song because every song up through Justice was pretty damn epic. So I'm really, really happy I got to see that one, and that's got to be somewhere in my, you know, top concerts for sure, man, because of that whole deal. Meeting them when I
That's
was
why
15.
I got it. Yeah.
Yeah, dude. So
Yeah.
that was definitely a killer show. So yeah.
What's your number 4, Mike?
Okay. So again, I'm not I'm just kind of
I
throwing
know.
them out, but Kiss,
fourth
the
one.
reunion tour, with Alice in Chains opening. For a lifetime like me, I mean, I grew up on Kiss. They were a big deal to me, and and especially then because I was just a little guy. I mean, when I first discovered Kiss, I was 5. Alive had only been out for a few months, you know. So, you know, and even as a teenager growing up, my mom and dad, it was weird. They let me have the records, they let me have the posters, but whenever I wanted to go with my older brother and his friends, you're not going to St. Louis, going to a concert with a bunch of drug addict fucking weirdos. No way, you know. So, I mean, consequently, I missed shows that most people my age didn't, like seeing Motley Crue with Ozzy Osbourne. Motley Crue at the top of their game, by the way, supporting Shout at the Devil with Ozzy doing Bark at the Moon. Legendary fucking tour, man. You know, a lot of them, you know, Dio in his prime didn't get to see him because my parents were, you know, and I never did understand that. I mean, and I'm not bad. My mom and dad were great, but they were just very, very protective. My first fucking concert was Kiss with Ted Nugent. Kiss was supporting Crazy Nights, ugh. And even that was a disappointing show, which I'll get to in a minute. But Ted Nugent kicked ass. But and then after that was, I believe, Metallica and Queensryche was my second concert, man, and I still remember it to this day. It was just like you said, James. It was just so fucking epic, man. Epic. So yeah, Kiss, man. I mean, it was a big deal to me. I wanted to see him live all my life, the real Kiss to me, you know, and I finally got to, and it was fucking awesome, man. It was awesome. And then of course I was a huge Alice in Chains fan, so them opening for Kiss, I mean, Jesus Christ, that was just like, you know, that was the jelly on the peanut butter sandwich as far as I was concerned. It was the fucking shit. Ruled. Loved it. And I finally got to see, you know, my childhood heroes. It was awesome.
All right. So then, Jerry.
August 16th, 1984. A lot of my shows are when I was a kid. Because face it, when you were a kid back then and seeing this shit, you know, concerts for the first time, blew you fucking away. My sister Mary bought me tickets to see Yes, 9012 Live Tour.
Yes.
Fucking, what a fucking experience that was, dude. That's when I fell in love with that era. Yes, I think it's better than I think Trevor Rabin era is much better than Steve Howe. I'm gonna apologize for that because what a show that fucking was, dude. I mean, not to mention that album 90125 is a fucking classic, dude.
Yeah, you reviewed it with us on Freeform when you were on Freeform.
Trevor Rabin is so underrated as a fucking because the guy writes fucking soundtrack scores, dude. He's a fucking musical genius. But man, I remember that a lot more than I do a lot of concerts because it was my first concert and the fucking light show and everything, man, was just fucking incredible. So yeah, I had to include that one in my list. I'm with you guys. I don't really have a ranking for him, but yeah, that show blew me away, dude. Still does today.
Yeah, Trevor Rabin had that album done, and they sent it to Chris Squire. He said, we need a guitar player, and they sent him that album. And he goes, I need to get John Anderson. So he brings John Anderson, and John Anderson goes, oh, this is awesome. Bring the kid in. And they brought him in, and they made one of the greatest fucking albums from 1983. Fucking one of the coolest videos, Only Over Lonely Heart, is freaky as fuck.
That was a cool video back then.
That was a freaky video, and it was well done. think it was Russell McKay, one of those good directors back then, did that. It's fucking great video. But that's your number 4. I'll get to my number 4 now, unless you guys want to talk about Yes.
What are your guys' favorite era of Yes? Or if you even have one at all?
Charles went off.
I
Did you
like
have to go to work?
personally.
No.
I Owner to Lonely Hearts, that album, and a couple other songs, but that to me is by far their best song. And I don't own any Yes albums. I mean, they're okay, but this is not my thing really. Besides those couple good songs.
Yeah. And then
Understood.
and I'll get to my number 4. I wish Charles, there he is. There's Charles, because Charles could hear this. My number 4 is I know everybody hates this album. It's when Metallica sold out, but everybody who hated
It was a hell of a tour, though.
Black Album. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna say. It was a hell of a tour. So I saw this consecutive nights. The first night I saw it, it was fine. The second night I had a fever, man, like 103. And I called out for work because I got another ticket. Say, oh, can you take us? So I called out for work. And one of my friends knew who worked at In-N-Out. And then I fucking I called out, and my mom even lied for me. Oh, he's sick, he's in bed, he's got a fever. I went to the show, 103 fever, and I got unlucky to see my friend's brother, Danny Travato, comes up and goes, hey, I saw Marky T when he goes to my work, In-N-Out Burger. Says Marky T was at Metallica, man. I go, fuck, busted.
Wow.
So that was a great show. That was like the second concert I saw twice in a row. I'll probably have that one mentioned in my honorable mentions, but the Metallica Black Tour, fucking amazing.
Who opened for him when you saw him? Was it Suicidal?
I didn't see an opener on there, dude.
Really?
I
See,
think
when
there was- they
my
played
buddies,
3 hours.
when they played here in St. Louis, man, it was Suicidal and fucking Danzig.
I don't remember an opener, or we got there right when Metallica
Suicidal.
started.
I've never seen Suicidal Tendencies live, man. I have to rectify that because
Well,
that band rules.
Maybe we got there late because I didn't drive both those nights. So I got in, but I walked in and Metallica started. So both nights. So I was like, okay, cool. If I miss Suicidal and that fucking, where the fuck is that dude? I'm gonna punch him in the fucking head. Because if I miss Suicidal Tendencies on that tour, I'm fucking pissed right now. Thanks for telling me that.
You're welcome.
I love Suicidal.
I know you do.
Yeah, I saw him. You're right, Mike. It was with Danzig opened up for him. We actually missed.
It was Danzig and Suicidal, I believe. Yeah.
I guess I'll check that fucking FM set FM or something, see what they did in LA at the Forum at that time, 2 nights. But that was my number 4. And then Scribbles is Slipknot. I don't care for Slipknot, so I don't know.
Which album?
Charles,
Just the
you're
self-titled one?
Mike.
Or he just said Slipknot.
Slipknot concert, yeah.
I've
Can
seen
I-
them. They were good.
I'll tell you what, man. This is what I will say about Slipknot. First time I seen him, a buddy of mine had one of those. It was just like a couple songs, you know. Even in the early to 90s and late 90s, you still had tape trading even then, and somebody had this tape, man, and you saw this picture of these dudes in a mask, and it had 2 songs, man, and they fucking ripped ass. I was like, oh, cool. This is going to be one of the bands that's going to be at Ozfest. And I already knew System of a Down was going to be there too. And I'd seen System of a Down open for Slayer. And believe it or not, they won the Slayer fans over, which, as you know, James, is not an easy thing to do. And that was at a small club called Mississippi Nights. Fucking amazing show. But back to Slipknot, man. I'm walking in at the Ozfest, right? And this is when they played the second stage. Nobody really knew who Slipknot was at the time. And as I'm walking in and they're patting me down and doing the thing with the tickets and all that, I hear, St. Louis, please welcome Slipknot. And the next thing I know, I see these motherfuckers with the fucking jumpsuits and the mask, and they come out behind the PAs and they just fucking kicked ass. I mean, everybody went crazy. The pit went in fucking insane, man. And you had like the dude with the carrot nose, and he's jerking the carrot nose off and he's flipping me off. And I'm like, it made me feel as a grown man what I felt like as a little kid the first time I saw Kiss and was like, what is that? That's how I felt about Slipknot. I was like, fuck, man. But they were amazing live, man. I know some people don't dig them, but I still say those first 3 records, great albums, man. After that, they haven't really done anything that's really grabbed me. I think the first 3 Slipknot albums, especially Iowa, what a brutal record, man.
Yeah.
To be honest, I never really delved deep into new metal, to be honest with you.
Well, here's the thing that bothers me about that. To me, Slipknot, yeah, I know they had a dude who used a turntable and shit. But if you listen to them, I always felt they were more thrashy than new metal. You know, they're playing the double bass drums. They're fucking heavy. Very what they reminded me of was kind of like Sepultura when Sepultura did what they did with Roots. I know a lot of thrash metal purists hate that album. I do not. I love the Max Cavalera era of Sepultura. One of my honorable mentions, I saw them with Clutch and Fear Factory opening, and that was an amazing concert. The only time I ever saw the original Sepultura live on the KSAD show, tour. But anyway,
we're gonna have
digressing.
To go a little bit faster here.
Yeah.
We're only on number 4.
I saw some good Slipknot shows, man. I saw some good Slipknot shows on a couple different Ozfests, and I'll just leave it at that.
Yep.
They were awesome every time.
Okay, so that was Scribble's number 4. So Charles, what's your number 3?
Only seen him once, and it's one of my favorite albums of all time. Roger Waters' The Wall Tour.
Damn.
What was that?
Roger Waters' The Wall Tour.
Oh, okay.
The Wall.
That's my favorite Floyd album of all time.
Yeah. That tour was awesome. It was so cool to see that live.
I'm back.
Roger Waters, The Wall.
Yeah, say what you will about Roger Waters. He'll give you a show.
Yeah.
To this day.
And then we get to your number 3, James.
Okay, my number 3 is going to be the same as a couple people here. Kiss on the reunion tour, 1996, and I've seen them 10 times, but this is by far the best time. And it was still fresh with Ace and Peter. They'd only been on the road for like 5 or 6 months. And I was up in Greensboro, and I got to take my little sister there. It was her first concert, so that made it even more special. And I finally got to see Ace, man. So, man, that was a kick-ass show, and they were great that night, man. And by far, it's my favorite Kiss show out of 10.
All right, Jerry, Mike, you're number 3.
Okay, I'll make this quick, man, but it was Ozzy on the Osmosis tour. And I know sometimes people give that record a lot of hate. I don't quite understand it because I think it's a pretty heavy record. I mean, songs like Thunder Underground, that fucking album rules. With Fear Factory opening. And what was cool about it, it was at the American Theater, and the American Theater was a small theater in St. Louis. So seeing Ozzy that up close in such an intimate setting with fucking Fear Factory opening for him, God, and Ozzy had Geezer playing bass for him on that tour. It was an amazing show. Joe Holmes playing guitar, and he fucking played the Randy licks. Like, just an amazing concert, man. Joe Holmes, it's a shame he didn't really ever get to record with Ozzy because the guy was an amazing guitar player. Saw him with Ozzy twice, and he actually was taught by the late, great Randy Rhoads. So just an amazing show.
Nice. So what's your number 3, Jerry?
Number 3, 1988 again as a kid. The Monsters of Rock Festival, man. Scorpions, Van Hagar, Dokken, fucking Metallica, first time ever in South Florida. Kingdom Come. My first ever festival experience, man. It was a great time, dude. And I'm not a big fan of festivals, man. I can't stand out there for 3 fucking days like some people can. More power to you if you can. But man, what a great experience that was seeing Metallica fucking for the very first time, dude. Great. I mean, Dokken, they were like fighting with each other. George Lynch was getting pissed. He was throwing his guitar around, fucking pissed off.
I know.
I saw them open up for Aerosmith on that same tour, Back for the Attack, and they were doing the same shit on that.
You know what?
Nick Brown tossed his fucking drumstick at Don Dokken. It was a fucking disaster.
Yeah.
But the rest of the bands were okay. I was in the front for most of it. When Van Halen came on, I went to the fucking back. So I didn't give a shit. My girlfriend at the time, Dina. Hi, Dina. How you doing? I know you're watching. Liked Van Hagar, so we had to sit through that shit. But just the experience of a festival for the first time ruled.
Nice. I forgot to use that joke when I said Metallica concert. Oh, Monsters of no Black Album. I was gonna say that, but I forgot. Is that it, Jerry?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, then I get to my everybody's favorite 9-arm band. Sorry, I didn't get to see them with 10 arms, but this was a fucking show. Fucking great in the round. Def Leppard, Tesla open with Mechanical Resonance.
That would have been worth seeing just to see Tesla, and then I would have left.
Well, dude, they played a lot of Pyromania and High and Dry on that.
I'm messing with you, Mark. I'm sure they did.
Yeah,
I'm sure they did.
And then the freaking dude, and then the curtain goes up, and you hear a Dirty Harry talking about what a 354 Magnum could do to a person, and then you hear fucking Joe Elliott. I said, "Welcome to my show," and then it's just a you and me, babe. We got, and then when fucking Rick Allen hits a doom, the house lights go on, the curtain fucking falls. Fucking great fucking time, dude. It's still burned in my memory. It's that vivid. Like I'm there right now watching it. This is what the greatest.
That's awesome, man.
No, it was a great. I saw that show. It was a great show. And the highlight, I have to say, was Gods of War. I mean, that was the highlight of the show. And I hate Hysteria, but that when they did that song live, man, they fucking nailed it. But it was a good show, man. Tesla fucking stole it, though, in my opinion.
Yeah. I saw it.
Tesla's a great band. I seen Tesla live.
All
I've seen them twice, actually, and they were amazing both times.
And then I get to Scribbles number 6. Since all you motherfuckers have already talked about this band, we can move on from this one, right? His number 3 is Slayer. We talked extensively about Slayer shows, so Scribble, you know what they think about it, brother. But that was his number 3. Did we get to your number 2, Charles?
Well, James and Mike already hit it up. But maybe I don't think Jerry yet. Kiss with the original lineup.
Yeah.
Fucking amazing. I would say I put it at number 2. It would have been my number 1 for years. That's where I would put the rating. What a show. Fucking that's Kiss to me. And I'm so glad I had the opportunity to see that. I don't think I would have felt complete if I would have missed out on that. So I saw it the farewell tour. I didn't have it together. I was too far away from Dallas. That was the nearest reunion tour was me at the time. But when I had the opportunity, I made sure I went. And it was farewell tour, Louisville, Kentucky. I think Mick Watkins is from that area. We talked about that show before. So I love the show. I know they say the reunion tour was better, but hey, I enjoyed the farewell tour myself. So I wish they would have been farewell.
All right.
What I didn't like about the farewell tour is they did like fucking Heaven's on Fire and Tears Are Falling. That's just not fucking Peter fucking era. Yeah, so that's my only problem with it.
All right, man. And then we get to man, this is becoming a Slayer Kisstasic episode. All you guys. Yeah, I've never seen it, so it's like what
Slayer rules.
Yeah, Slayer rules to you guys. I have Slayer to play on netmetalstation.com thanks to Metal Mike right there. So hit me up with a request.
And I request it quite often.
Oh yeah. I did play that shitty live song one time for you. I picked a live Slayer and I never heard it before.
That was not their best live performance. I'll give you that much.
What album?
I don't remember, dude. It's one of their live albums. It was a song off of what album? The one you have behind you, right?
No, it was it was Rain and Blood, actually.
Rain and Blood, yeah, Rain and Blood. It was like it was a song and they were all saying how crappy I said, you know what? I didn't pre-hear it. I'm sorry. I gave you a live Slayer song. I didn't know what it sounded like when
it was fucking raw and unfucking engineered.
I gotta now,
but it wasn't that great. I'll
listen to a little snippets of like Ghost and make sure I give you guys the quality versions next time. I didn't know. I just put it in there. Oh, it's live Slayer. Everybody says they're great. Here, throw it in. So,
but I've got no reference to say what was great or not great about Slayer live because I've never seen them. But I agree with it. Didn't sound that great, whatever it was.
Yeah. All right. So, where are we at? We already did Scribbles. You did mine. Now we're to Charles. You did the Kiss farewell tour. All right. Now we get to you, James. You're number 2.
Okay. Oh boy. This is where it got really tough, man. I've got to put this show on there though. It was G3, the original G3 tour with Yngwie Malmsteen, Steve I, Joe Satriani.
Damn, what a show that was. Must have been.
Steve I had Billy Sheehan and Tony McAlpine in his band that night.
Shit.
Dude, there's no concert I've ever been to that had more talent and all those top to bottom in one night than any other show I've saw, man. It was mind blowing, dude. And all three of them were fantastic, of course. They all killed it. They all come out at the end to do a couple of Hendrix songs. That was really awesome. And I loved all of them, but I have to say Steve Vai was just slightly better that night, dude. He is just, after I saw him and Sheehan together, that's like the two best walking the planet to me, especially since Ed's gone. Because that show was unbelievable, man. So it's got to be in my top 5 or 6 shows, man.
There's a name I haven't heard in a while. Tony McAlpine. Whatever happened to that guy?
He's still making music, I think.
Does he?
Didn't he just get over cancer? He got over cancer.
Didn't know that.
He came to town 2 or 3 years ago here in Fayetteville, dude. I didn't get to go, but so he's still out there touring, you know, fairly. Cool. Yeah, he was fantastic, dude. I mean, to see him and Vi and Sheehan all in the same band together, dude, it was just ridiculous, man. It was just really ridiculous, dude. And all three of them had top-notch bands, you know. So some of the best musicians in the world that night, and there's no way me being a musician that I can't. That's got to go in one of my best concerts ever, man.
Well, I mean, that's like a stellar. I mean, it's a who's who. That's a who's who, man. I mean, McAlpine. I mean, holy fuck! Along with all those other guys. Jesus.
Yeah, 2003. So
yeah, I've never seen Yngwie live. And who was it? You said Satriani too?
Yeah.
You don't want to see Yngwie now. He sings.
Yeah,
that last solo album was trash.
Yeah, I don't like him singing, man. He needs a damn singer with him. And I thought when he had Ripper Owens, he should have kept that dude in the band. But yeah, Yngwie needs a singer, man. He's not a lead singer. That's my only knock on him. He can sing a song or a blues song here and there, but he shouldn't be fronting the band. Put it that way. He ain't doing "I'll See the Light Tonight," you know. So I don't know, man. But you know, he was incredible though. He really put on a damn show. I can't remember who was singing that night, but he had a singer. And you know, Joe Satriani, man, out of all three of them, I have to say he probably had the best guitar sound out of everybody that night. His sound was just, yeah, it's mind blowing, man. So that was a killer show, man.
Nice. And then we get to your number 2, Mike.
Okay, like I said, man, there's just so many honorable mentions, but I had to put this on the list just for the lineup alone. And it was mentioned earlier, and that was Ozfest 2004. I mean, you got my all-time favorite band, who I'd seen with Bill Ward before. I'd seen Black Sabbath in '97 on Ozfest with Mike Borden on drums, and then the following year was Ozzy, and the year after that was Ozzy or Sabbath with the whole lineup, which were all amazing. And then, but that year, man, it was pretty impressive because that was shortly after Ozzy's ATV accident. I was blown away. Not only did he make the show, but he fucking killed it. The whole band, plus Judas Priest with Rob Halford back, was fucking huge. The crowd, even people, it's funny. I'm talking about a show that's almost 20 years ago, but at the time there was all these young people that were all into they were knowing the words, and I'm going, wow, some of these fuckers weren't even around in the 80s when Priest was doing their thing. That's what I thought, but they were amazing. And then Slayer, and then just the rest of the bands. I mean, Lamb of God, Hatebreed. I mean, Slipknot, man. I mean,
the Nebo Gore.
OTEP, Devil Driver,
Ritual.
Yeah, I mean, Super Joint Ritual, Black Label Society, Lacuna Coil, man. I mean, which that chick's so sexy. I mean, yeah, it was just a really fucking cool. Oh yeah, Christina Scabby. Oh, yeah. Man. Oh yeah. And they're what Evanescence want to be. That's who Lacuna Coil are. Right. Exactly. Much better band, man. Much better band. Much heavy. Yep.
Yeah.
So that's your number 2, Mike?
Yeah. Just because of like I said, the lineup alone, it was just amazing. And Yeah, I could count a lot of those Ozfest though, man. Just seeing like Buzz Osborne jamming of the Melvins jamming with Tool and Peter Steele jamming with Dimebag and you know so many of those Ozfest were great, man.
Motorhead.
So yeah.
Mhm.
Motorhead, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
it's the only time I saw Motorhead. They were amazing.
Oh man, you got to see Motorhead? Fuck, man, I
Yeah.
love to see
Yeah,
them
on
live.
Ozfest.
Then I
Yeah.
had to hurry up and run to the other stage because Slayer was there. So yeah, that was an amazing show.
Oh man, that would have been fucking awesome.
Yeah, dude. That was a good Ozfest, dude. One of the best for sure.
So Jerry, what's your number 2?
A couple of us have talked about it already, and I've seen the show 3 times. What a fucking awesome time that was to be able to see the fucking band you grew up and loved back together. I'm talking about the Kiss reunion tour, man. Saw them 3 times.
God damn it!
Saw them 3 times in that tour. I saw that 3 times during that tour and 2 times during the farewell tour. And I don't know what Paul Stanley was talking about. Paul Stanley says Ace and Peter weren't up to par, but when I saw them, they were fucking on fire. So I don't know what Paul was drinking then, if he was. But anyway, what a great joy that was to see that fucking band live, the original 4 back together again, dude. One of the best concert experiences I ever had.
So then I'll get to my number 2. I think it was 1988. My mom took me to the show. If I don't care about his politics, never have, never will. Bruce Springsteen, Tunnel of Love tour. He brought the E Street Back Band. That album was a solo album, but he brought them on the tour with him. Little Steven Van Zandt wasn't there. He had that other guy. He came back later. But fucking Springsteen, first 3.5 hour concert I ever seen before I saw Rush. It's like, damn.
Yeah, Bruce will give you his money's worth.
Oh God! Turned on the house lights, brought people on stage. We were like first row backstage on an open stage, so he came back there like singing right in front of me, dude. It was fucking amazing. I sold that tour book for $100 too, so I made some cash off of it. I didn't buy it; my mom did. A Tunnel of Love, and then we get to Scribble, Megadeth. You guys talked about Megadeth already, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know what.
I've seen Megadeth a couple of times. Not at Clash of the Titans, but I did see him a couple times, and they were awesome both times.
So
Yeah.
It's fucking Dave Mustaine,
Yeah. I saw him on Ozfest, and So Far So Good, So What. Saw that tour.
Seen him
too.
3 times. Once was Ozfest, which that was a bit disappointing. I'll get to that in a little bit. And then the other 2 though were great, but I'll explain why.
all right, now we get to our number 1. Charles, what's your number 1 or whatever?
Easily, yeah, it is my number 1. Paul McCartney. It was a
Nice.
religious experience to see him live. And I had so many near misses with him, either due to life or whatever was going on. So I had the opportunity to do it, and I got on it, and I'm telling you, it was phenomenal. Easily, Paul McCartney.
James, what's your number 1?
Oh man, this was really actually where it got tough for me because I was trying to.
I think I know what it is. It better be
the last one I was going to write down, and man, I was going back and forth between some really good ones, including Van Halen with Eddie and Rolf back, second night at 2007 tour. But my favorite band of all time is Pantera, man, and
Knew it.
out of the 5 times I saw them, this was my favorite because it was the only show I saw where they were just a headlining band at the arena. It wasn't on Ozfest. The 3 times I saw them on that, and then they opened for Skid Row the first time I saw them, which was pretty magical too. But to see them headline 101 proof tour, man, they just come out and they killed it. It was sold out here in Fayetteville, about 7,000-8,000 people, but it was sold out, man. And that show, they had Machine Head and Cold Chamber, which fucked Machine Head, but Cold Chamber was okay. They were all right. I'd much prefer Dez with Devil Driver, but man, Pantera just killed it, dude. They just killed it. They were on fire that night. And I have to put them on my list of any time. That's my favorite band ever. So, that's the choice I made, the very last one. But yeah, man, that's as good as any of the other ones I've ever seen as far as me just going and loving the music, dude, because that's my band. It's pretty kick-ass.
Right
Oh,
on.
what's your number one, Mike?
You're gonna see a pattern here. Pantera at the American Theater with Crowbar opening. Now I had seen Pantera one other time at a very small club called Club 367. Very intimate setting. I actually got to meet the guys. My friend Holly, we called her, well, Holly the slut. She was a groupie. She got us backstage, man. And at the time, I didn't know what it was, but Dime had me do a shot with them, and it was. I'm pretty sure it was the Black Tooth Grin, man, because he was like, down it, dude. I'm like, all right. So, and everybody was really super friendly. And I've lost touch with Holly, but there was actually pictures of us with Pantera that night. They were an amazing, just an amazing show. It hadn't come out yet, but they were already touring for Vulgar Display. So I got to hear a few songs from Vulgar Display before the album came out. Fucking phenomenal, almost a religious experience. I was already a Pantera fan because of Cowboys from Hell, but when I saw that, I was like, I am seeing, and I really did think this to myself, I am seeing something that people are going to talk about years from now. And I still feel that way. And I think even if Diamond and Vinny were still with us, Pantera was one of those bands that I was like, this must have been what it was like for my friend across the street that was like a surrogate big brother, or even my cousin Mitchell, to see bands like Sabbath or Alice Cooper, bands like, Kiss, even Zeppelin in their heyday, in their prime. That was the feeling that I got, and then when I seen them again at the American, Far Beyond Driven had just come out, and Crowbar, who I was already into, was opening for him. I got to meet them before the show and after the show. And what was really cool about it is we're in the front of the pit, right? And they're doing Walk. Now, I know Walk's kind of played out now, but you got to remember, this is 1993, 94, something like that. Phil fucking throws the microphone out. Nobody catches it. He gets a disgusted look on his face. He pulls the microphone out. He throws it back out. And me and my buddy Brian and my big brother catch that motherfucker. And we're singing Walk as they're playing it. Are you talking to me? The whole fucking thing, dude. That whole verse. No way, punk. We're singing it. It's the most metal moment of my fucking life, okay? And what was even cooler about it is after the show, Phil was outside talking to the fans, signing shit, taking pictures. And when he seen us, he goes, dudes from the front row. And we took pictures and he signed all our stuff. And yeah, dude, it don't get any better than that. And the one thing I'm going to say, I know Metallica's kind of regained their crown or whatever, but I'm sorry to tell you, at this time period, Pantera were the undisputed kings of metal because Metallica didn't even fucking fight for it. They gave up the crown for a while.
Absolutely.
Mic drop, and it's the truth. I don't give a fuck. You Metallica tards can get pissed at me if you want, but it's the fucking truth. They turned their back on metal. They turned their back on metal. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. You can see the fucking magazine. Fucking Crane or Metal Hammer. Don't call us a metal band.
Right.
Fuck, it's in your name, Lars. It's in your name, James. Stop it already.
All right, let's get to your number one, Jerry. Sorry.
I mean, James mentioned it earlier. I mean, be able to see Pink Floyd live, 1994, man. What a great fucking show that was. I don't apologize for liking pre-Roger Waters Pink Floyd. I love it. I love David Gilmour, one of my favorite guitar players. Fucking do the whole Dark Side of the Moon fucking album, and it was just a great. We were it was actually the very first night of the tour, which was even cooler. We were like at the very top, right front and center. It was like the best worst seat you could possibly have. And man, what a fucking great stage show that was, and the musicianship was fucking awesome. That's how you do it. He had a bunch of musicians on stage, but that's how you fucking do it. Don't use tape. Just bring on extra fucking musicians. At least it's live. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I fucking love that show. It's one of my favorites. I don't apologize for loving Post Waters Pink Floyd, but
why should you? I mean, I gotta admit, I like some of the Post Waters Floyd. My favorite era is always going to be that lineup. I mean, I admire some of the Syd Barrett stuff, but my favorite era will always be that was Floyd at the top of their game.
I just gotta say, we got a half hour. Charles has got to go to
I-
work, man.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, it's
So
going to the
anyway,
Quaker.
yeah, man.
I hate to
Floyd's the
be-
shit.
Yeah, I
No,
should have.
you're fine. You're fine.
I should have started earlier, James. You're right.
I told you it would take a while.
Yeah, all right. I'll get to my number one and I'll do it very quickly because you already talked about Rush. My first concert with them was Hold Your Fire in '87. Then I saw them twice on the Presto tour. That's an honorable mention. So I got rid of one of those. And then I saw them on the Time Machine tour where they played no opening act. They didn't use opening acts after Candlebox. I think there was an uproar about Candlebox, which I like Candlebox. But I like the Time Machine because they played the entire moving pictures in its entirety. I got that fucking live concert here from Cleveland. I think it's from Cleveland. Charles, Time Machine tour recorded in Cleveland.
Big city for Rush.
Great show. Loved it. Got to hear fucking the Camera Eye live, Witch Hunt live. It was fucking amazing because they don't play those songs, man. So that was Rush. And then Scribbles number 6 is Korn. Anybody want to say anything about Korn real quick?
I don't mind some songs, but never seen them live.
Okay.
So I'm live.
I-
once.
All right.
I do. I've seen them live several times. I saw their first tour with Korn and Manson opening up for Danzig when nobody knew who Korn and Manson was. So that was cool.
All right.
Again, I've never done a deep dive into them, so I couldn't tell you.
Yeah, Andy picked a song and I fucking was dry. That was worse than Ghost. Sorry, I had to take my headphones off on that one. I'd rather listen to Slayer or fucking Ghost than fucking Korn. Sorry. At least those are a little easier on my ears than that fucking Jonathan Davis. He was like screaming some gibberish. I go, what the fuck is this shit? I'm out. I fucking took my headphones off till it was over. I just, over.
Right twist.
Yeah. And then we get to our bottom 4. So Charles, what's your number 4 or your worst?
Number 4, I hate to bring it up because he's no longer with us, but the show sucked. I think he had gotten back on the drugs and it affected the performance. It was Scott Weiland.
Oh, nice.
I think it was only a few months later he passed away. So
Was this just him on his own, or was it?
Yes.
Oh,
Scott Weiland, and the tour was called Purple to the Core. And he didn't even do Plush, which I find to be weird. If you're gonna do greatest hits albums, but
yeah, that is strange.
yeah, he wasn't himself. He took about an hour and a half to get. He was an hour and a half late getting on the stage, and it was sad, but it was because of his state at the time. I don't know. I can't judge against it. Anything else? That's the only time I seen him was on that. And it wasn't a great performance. Unfortunately, he passed away.
All right, man. So that's your 4 worst. And then what's your 4 worst, James?
Okay. One thing, I saw STP on their 4th tour and they kicked ass. It was unbelievable.
Yeah.
But I didn't rank these, but fucking Poison, Ford and Brittany Fox.
Whoa.
It was the first concert that came to mind. I think Lita Ford opening up for the other 2. I think that's the way it went, man. I know Poison was there, and that's all that mattered because they're fucking horrible. Whoever opened up for them was better. I'm sure of that. But that was Poison on that fucking Look What the Cat Dragged In or whatever. Oh, dude, I only went there. I know it's gonna sound bad, but I only went because a hot chick wanted to go and I wanted to get laid. I was like,
You gotta do what you gotta do, man.
yeah, I did what I had to do and it worked. Okay.
You earned that pussy that night.
Exactly.
I had to sit through the worst guitar solo in my entire fucking life that night. That CC, I just leave him alone. Yeah, that was definitely very shitty. But I got laid. So
what's
There
your
you
4th, Mike?
Happy.
Oh, he just let. What's your what? Hold on, Jerry. What's your 4th?
I got fucking tricked in this with my friend Russ, who watches the show every now and then. Hey, Russ. He's like, let's go see a fucking Led Zeppelin cover band, man. They're pretty cool. So I'm like, all right, cool. So we get there, and everybody's wearing their Led Zeppelin shirts and stuff. And out comes this band with this fat Elvis impersonator. They're called Dred Zeppelin.
I know that band.
Oh
He
wow.
didn't. He did not warn me what they fucking were at the time.
They're cool
Holy
though.
shit,
They're
did that-
cool.
Well, I didn't expect that, and it sucked. And not to mention, we were on the left side of the fucking, right by the PA, and there was this fucking hum that went through the whole concert, man. I swear I was deaf because of the hum. But you know, it was just terrible, man. It was like reggae Led Zeppelin.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the fuck is this? And my friend Russ is just fucking ripping me and laughing at me and shit. Dude, it was horrible. So that's my number 4.
What's your number 4, Mike?
Wow.
Well, probably Kiss on the Crazy Nights tour with Ted Nugent. Ted Nugent was great, but Kiss, I mean, they sounded all right, man. But it was like looking back later, people even said they kind of toned down. That, you know, I guess maybe they were hurting for money, but even the Kiss sign wasn't that big, and it just the best thing about it was Eric Carr's drum solo. I mean, they played some of the stuff they played a lot of Creatures of the Night material, which was cool, but I don't know. It wasn't, I was expecting more pyro and more, you know, I wasn't big on the album, but I thought, well, they'll play the classic stuff. And I mean, they played a few classic songs, but a lot of it was that shitty record. And then the fucking, and then there was quite a bit of Crazy Nights though. Or I mean, Creatures of the Night, because they played War Machine. And Paul did I Still Love You. I mean, it wasn't horrible, but it was disappointing. So yeah, that and there's going to be one on this list that's probably going to break your heart, James, but I'll explain why when I get to it.
All right.
Especially when they did, I saw that tour too, especially when they did Bang Bang You. That was like fucking insulted.
Come on, guys. I got 23 minutes. 23 minutes. So let's fire this shit up. My number 4, it's so bad that I could only handle 3.5 songs, and I was willing to stay for 4. The whole thing was, I think, Stabbing Westward. I heard one song. I think that was the only good song of the night I heard. I think they were better, but we got there late. And we saw the 5th, which I like the EP, but the guy doesn't have a really, sorry guy, I don't care for the guitar player went out trying to play Sweet Child of Mine. Like, and then Keel comes out with a fucking ballad. So I could only stand 3 songs, 3.5 of Keel. It's so bad. I don't leave shows, man. I do not leave shows. I haven't left the worst show, but I had to get out. And plus we weren't feeling good either. So that didn't help. So that's my number 4. And I guess Scribble wants to get into the fray on this because he agrees with me. So Keel Fest wasn't there. I'm glad he's finally getting the hate I thought he deserved for years.
Nah, man, early Keel isn't bad, dude. It's really not.
It's all right. Those first couple albums are all right.
Yeah, but this shit that I saw, I agree. It wasn't that great.
Yeah, he did not have the right to rock that night.
I'm gonna wait on the Q Fest. I got maybe a comment.
All right, then we get to your number 3, James.
Okay, this one was really simple. It came to mind right with Poison, and that's the time I had to go see Rascal Flatts in concert. That fucking horrible country band, whiny bitch ass country band. I hated those motherfuckers. I hated them so bad that I was engaged to this girl. It's the only time I was engaged to anybody. Not long after that concert, I broke it off with her, got my damn ring back. And that didn't help. They sucked. I'll just leave it at that. It was one of the worst shows I've ever been to in my life. Man, they're almost as bad as Poison.
So, Mike, what's your number 3?
Fucking Dave Matthews.
Oh,
now,
man, you stole my thunder, man.
And well, kind of the situation that James was in. I was engaged to this gal that I have later nicknamed the thing that should not be. And
right.
But she was a huge Dave Matthews fan. And so we went, you know, I thought, well, I'll take her, you know, and I did. And we had lawn seats, and thank God they had seats in the lawn section, because I ended up falling asleep. It bored the fuck out of me. It was, I don't get Dave Matthews. I mean, hey, if you like him, cool, whatever. But I just don't get it. I've never gotten it. And that's that, you know. But it pissed her off that I fell asleep. I'm like, well, I'm sorry, man. It was pretty bad.
All right, Jerry, you're number 3.
I'm with Mike on that one. I was unfortunately had to see Dave Matthews one time with a few friends. I never understood the guy or the like with him. And I was in the grass, and it was like 90 degrees in South Florida. And some dude must have shit his pants, like in the couple seats next to me on the lawn. Just that and the shitty music, it just was terrible, man. One of the worst concert experiences I ever had. And he was on for like 3.5 fucking hours. It would not fucking end.
Yeah.
That's mine.
All right. That means go faster. Charles has got to get to work, man. I hate rushing people, man. So my number 3 is the Violent Femmes from the Why Do Birds Sing tour. Somebody say, you want to go to the Violent Femmes? I go, yeah, I like Blister in the Sun. I like that whole first album. I guess this was their 3rd or 4th album. We went to it, Universal Amphitheater. I go, this is fucking boring. Why are people stage diving during acoustic songs? What the fuck is going on here? Am I in hell? Violent Femmes, fucking horrible show. And Kate Doré says I'm wrong. I must have saw him on a bad night. So Scribble says Ozzy, one of the worst shows he's ever saw. Yeah, so he said he saw Ozzy was bad. So then we get to your number 2, Charles.
Well, I never did my 3.
Oh, what's your 3, Charles?
Super Joint Ritual.
Ooh,
Damn.
I saw him on an off night. I don't know.
Yeah.
But
2 times I saw them, they killed it, man. But I did.
maybe. But I saw him on a bad night. And Phil spiked the fucking mic off the stage, and he was pissed off, and the crowd booed him off the stage. It was at Ozfest. That's what I said. That's why I compartment.
Wow.
Ozfest, yeah. I don't know why nobody was into it. And he wasn't into it.
Yeah.
My number.
Freeze frame.
Back to Kiss, Scab Kiss. Only down to the whole step. It sucked. There you go.
what was it? We didn't hear you. You kind of went robotic.
Scab Kiss, I think
Scab
is what he
Kiss.
said.
Oh, he saw number 2.
Scab Kiss.
Okay, what's your number 2? What's your number 2, James?
Okay, my number 2. I was gonna say 1 of the 3 times I saw Kiss on the farewell tours because 1 or 2 of those shows were not that great, and one of them was pretty damn good. But Scab Kiss is worse. And I went with some friends in 2010. The 3 or 4 of them had never seen Kiss with the makeup on. And it was a free ticket. So I decided to go with these guys. I didn't have to drive. I didn't have to pay for anything. I had to do nothing but go. And after I left there that night, I was 100% positive that I would never go back to see Kiss again. That was the 10th time. Paul was starting to crack his voice really bad. They had the clones there. They were starting to be lifeless. And same set list over and over, years and years and years, man. They should have ended it when they were supposed to end it, man. But at least Kiss on the farewell tour still had Ace and Peter, and they can't be worse than Scab Kiss. So I'll go 2010 Sonic Boom Scab Kiss.
Mike?
Well, this pains me to say. Well, there's a few like kind of like what Charles said. I'm going to compartmentalize because I've been to so many Ozfest, but some of the ones that were disappointing to me. One was the Deftones. The band sounded good, but the lead singer's mic kept cutting out. And he got so mad he fucking threw the mic down because it wasn't picking him up at all. They were just it wasn't really the band's fault. I don't think it was the singer. It was just a bad day, and And then Typo Negative, believe it or not. But part of the reason is because Dimebag had Peter Steele so fucking drunk that he's taking his Jack Daniels bottle and he's just hitting his bass with it. So that was a little disappointing. Now I know Typo was an amazing band, but it was the only time I got to see him. So it was an off day. I think if I'd seen him in a club, it would have been a lot better. And then Super Joint, man, Ritual, they were doing a co-headlining tour with Clutch, who I've seen many, many times. So that's one of my honorable mentions. Clutch is always an amazing show. But Super Joint, man, Phil was just, I think he was at the height of his heroin use. He was just rambling forever, not making a bit of fucking sense. I walked out, and it pains me to say that because I'm a huge Pantera fan. But yeah, it was fucking awful. Now, the other time I saw Superjoint at Ozfest, they were fine. But that show, it was like, yikes, you know.
Yeah, we saw them twice, man, in 2004, separate show and Ozfest, and they killed it both times, man. I would admit it, they sucked, but the 2 times me and my best friend went and saw them, they fucking killed it, dude.
Hey, we
And
gotta keep going, man.
Okay, man, I
We gotta
got you.
yeah, sorry.
Yeah, man, I told you.
Jerry, number 2.
I'm a huge Eagles fan, and I was excited to actually see Don Henley solo, which I was expecting to hear Desperado, fucking all taking, all those Don Henley classics, all his live shit, Dirty Laundry, Sunset Grill, all those cool songs. He did do Dirty Laundry, opened up with that one, but all the rest of the show was his last 2 albums, which I didn't know a single fucking song off those last 2 albums.
Bummer.
And to mention, he just talks about fucking politics for like, goes on and on. I'm like, dude, I mean, I know he's very political, but man, shut up and fucking play music, man. Jeez.
Right.
I don't like that at all. When I go see a concert, I want to get away from that shit,
Right. Yeah.
But,
that's our escapism.
Yeah.
All right, man.
He opened up with Dirty Laundry, ended up with Desperado, but in between was a bunch of fucking shit I never heard of before. Very disappointing. And I paid like $250 for it, I think, at the Ryman. Horrible. Okay.
Sorry, we got
Yeah.
13 minutes, man. 13 minutes to get Charles to work. So I don't mean to be a dick.
Dick.
So my number 2 is Dire Straits on Every Street tour. That was her last fucking tour, and Mark Knopfler sounded like shit. So that's my number 2. And the band was boring. I fell asleep also. And then Scribbles number 2 is fucking Don Jameson. Cool, funny, cool guy, not funny. I like Don Jameson when you saw him. So we get to your number 1, Charles.
By far, without a shadow of doubt, the worst fucking thing I've ever seen in my goddamn life. Heel Fest 2. Heel Fest should be outlawed. Fuck that shit. I've been in a combat theater, and I think Heel Fest was more PTSD inducing.
Oh, shit.
Yeah,
It's not as bad for us because we left after 3.5 songs.
Yeah,
Kia
that's
started.
why you can't really rate it. You left.
I get the number. Well, I left because it was
Brag
bad.
about it. You get to brag.
Hey,
too.
man. Hey, that motherfucker. He was the only one that had any brains that night.
I'm not exaggerating. You have Metal Mike was there, Dr. Fuck, Ian, anybody that endured that horse shit. We deserve some kind of like survivor fund.
Yeah.
I wanted to drink through that, but there's only like one fucking bartender. It took like an hour to get a drink. That's what sucked too.
Yeah.
It was just so bad. It was.
I needed to drink during that fucking show.
I cannot. It was the worst concert I've ever been to. Good Lord. Yeah, I did. Ron Keel deserves to give me my money back. That shit was horrible. And for the parking, which was $30.
The Dorito guy. That's a Dorito
Hey,
guy.
listen, that's a different story. They got to hear the podcast on that one. Got to hear the podcast or the videos. But James, what's your number 1?
Okay, my number 1. I could have went a couple different ways, but this was the opening band, so it wasn't a whole show. But they were called Phantomus, and they had Dave Lombardo, which is my favorite metal drummer of all time, in it, and a guy from Faith No More, Mike Patton, singing, and a couple other guys. Man, they sucked. I mean, they really sucked. They were really horrible. They were trying to do some, like, I don't know, experimental music, beating on pots and pans. I don't know what the hell they were doing. But I was just really let down, man, especially because Dave Lombardo was in that band. None of us got it that night, is all I can say, man. They were trying to be avant-garde or whatever, trying to do like the second Pink Floyd album or something, out in the woods or whatever. I don't fucking know, man. But I was really disappointed because Dave Lombardo was in that band. And I had to say it sucks, but they sucked. They were opening for Tool. Tool was great. Nemeo tour, but yeah, Phantom sucks ass, man.
All right, Mike, what's your number 1?
Well, I do want to do an honorable mention. We were compartmentalizing Megadeth at the Ozfest, man. They open up with Holy War's Punishment Due. Fucking amazing. But then after that, man, he was playing all his fucking shitty music at the time that he was doing. And people were literally falling asleep and shit. And he got all pissed off about it. But my number one, fucking Keel Fest, man. What an atrocity. I mean, what an auditory raping. It was fucking bad. Not only was the set list shitty, because for one, you got the fucking Ron Keel band, which I never want to hear again. Then you had his what I thought, okay, cool, Keel. Now, either two things have happened. Either I remember Keel being a much cooler band than they really were,
Yeah.
or I don't know, man. It just didn't seem like he sang a lot of the songs that I knew. I mean, he did speak.
No, he didn't.
But that was about it, man. He didn't really do a lot, man. It was like, and one Steelers song that I remember, and that was it. I mean, most of it was fucking ballads. It should have been called Ballad Fest. Oh my God.
This one is too. This one is too.
I
I
can't
paid $50 for this. 50 fucking bucks.
Yeah.
Fucking great.
And you know, and here's the thing too, guys, and Charles knows what I'm talking about because y'all were there, or most of you were. And there was a point where I'm like literally falling asleep, and he kind of woke me up because they did this, you know, he did their version of Mob Rules, you know, the Dio era of Sabbath. I'm like, fuck yeah. And then he did like the Steelers stuff, you know, the guy plays fucking Ingve's part perfectly. And I'm like, all right, cool. Maybe we're going to finally.
Rick
And then
Fox
after
is
that,
a
they
good
go into
guitar.
another goddamn fucking ballad. And I'm like, oh. And I literally, in frustration, threw my fucking hands up in the air. And I turn around, and Charles and Ralph and Ian and everybody's just cracking up. And they're like, oh, man, little Mike's had enough. But I was like, let's get the fuck out of here, Bushy. I had it, man.
Yeah.
It was just like, and that's when I just started going. I was like, Mark Alden Taylor had the right idea. Why the fuck did we follow his fucking lead? You know, because
Jerry's
Mark
too.
was like,
That was
Mark
Jerry.
was like, yeah, Mark was like, deuces, I'm out, man. And he
And once
fucking
he
bailed.
mentioned "Let's go," I was fucking.
It was my plan. I said, "You want to go?" He goes, "Yep, let's go."
Which is
Yeah,
kind
it
of
was-
fucked up because I felt like a dick because I didn't get to say goodbye to anybody. But man, I wanted to get the fuck out of there. It was terrible.
I
Dude,
said
nobody
goodbye to
blamed you. You know, it was like getting out of a burning building. You don't go by to say
We
goodbye
said bye to
people.
Metal
Get the
Mike
fuck
and
out.
Charles and Bill
Yeah, I know.
outside.
I know. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was bad though, man. Jeez.
Yeah,
It was
so,
the worst show I've ever seen, man. I'm like, yikes.
so Jerry, what's your number one?
Oh, I hate to shit on this guy because I love him, but he was too fucking wasted to fucking perform. Eddie Money,
Ah.
the dude was fucking plastered. He had his guitar on. The guy gave him to put on his acoustic guitar. He put it on backwards. He couldn't fucking remember the lyrics of his songs. He had to have his guitar player fucking sing half the lyrics. Just a waste of a fucking good show, dude. Because Eddie Money's he was a talented dude, man. He had some good
yeah.
hits. It was a shame to see that because it was bad. I know he had alcohol issues, but still, man, you don't pay good money to see something like that. I'm sorry, man. That's my worst show.
Yeah, and then my number one is fucking Charles knows this one. I talk about it constantly, and it was in the news here in LA when Axl Rose was acting like a little fucking bitch, fucking on the Steel Wheels tour with fucking Rolling Stones, which the Stones are great. Living Color was great. But fucking like Vernon Reed said, Axl Rose, you're not being professional out here. He called him out. Said, this is fucked up, you know. They were fucking sloppy as fuck. The music was bad. Axl sounded like a fucking cat. I was like, that's the second time I saw them fucking bad too. And I'm done with them. Fuck them. I know they're good now, but fuck them. They ripped me off twice. So that's it. I saw them with the Metallica tour where they closed. And that was one of the shows I walked out on. We saw Metallica open. After 3 songs of Guns N' Roses, Gilby Clark was fucking fucked up on something, man. He was falling around. Slash was like, I don't know what the fuck was with him. But I looked at my friend Robert. I go, Robert. He goes, what? Let's go home and get stoned. Take some bong rips. We left after the 3rd song. We were gone. That's fucking horrible. That's my number one. And then Scribble's number one. Rob Zombie, great stage show, monster strippers and all, but his live voice is fucking awful. Vince Neil before Vince Neil. So,
Yeah, I don't know about before Vince Neil.
all right, man. That's our show, man. We just gave you the 4 greatest and the 4 fucking shit shows. Jerry, man, take us out, man.
Like I said, man, Mike, James, man, thank you guys so much for being on. Please come back again. Fucking love having you here. Mike, I'm looking forward to doing a review on our other show about a certain band we'll talk about later. Another great band. I guess that's about all I get to say. You know, thanks, guys.
Charles.
Hey, it was an honor being here. Thank you for having us. Oh, I'm sorry, Charles. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Charles.
I'm going to echo Jerry's sentiment. Glad to have you on. And James, is awesome to have you on as well, buddy. And
Yeah.
sorry about condolences about your cat.
Thanks,
so-
man.
So
I'm glad I did this tonight, though.
Yeah, man. You guys are all a
And,
wealth of knowledge, man.
Mike, always a great to do something.
Well,
with
thanks,
you,
man. I
so.
appreciate it.
Thank
Like I
you,
said, all
guys.
are
Mhm.
friends, man, and I'm happy to see all of you guys.
Yeah.
Thanks so much, man.
Well, man, it just tell them what to do, man. Hit that thumbs up when you watch a video. Hit the thumbs up, man. I mean, we need
Hit
those
the thumbs up,
algorithms.
the devil horns.
Thumbs up.
Yeah.
Fucking
Yeah,
leave us
man.
comments. I always get back to everybody. Sometimes they do. I'm always on that fucking YouTube page at work when I can't work it now, but I just want you guys, thank you guys for coming on, man. It was a trip. I like
Yeah.
listening to these concert stories. James was right. I should have went a half hour on the bullshit and got more stories, man. This should be like we should have another one to our 11 through 16.
Right?
Well, I mean, honestly, I've been lucky. Most of the shows I've been to, I've enjoyed, and they've been amazing. So I can't really. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Well,
mean,
we could
ones
do
that I thought were
our next
bad.
like 11 to 20 good shows, no bad ones.
Oh yeah, I
yeah.
could definitely do that.
If we could
I
do
could
that
do
in like
that.
a
Oh,
few
man.
months. Because I got
Yeah.
a lot more. I'm
Yeah.
not even going to say them because I want to save that for that. Because I got a lot here that I remember talking to you guys right now. But we got to get out of here. Charles is a working man.
Charles,
Yeah.
thank you for having me on. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Jerry. James, it was an honor, brother. An honor to be
Yes.
on here with you, man. Because
Oh,
that
yeah.
surprised me. I was not expecting you. I was like, "Oh, James West, what's up, man?"
Oh, man.
And
I
my
need him on a
condolences
show,
for your
man.
kitty, man. I, as an animal lover, I feel your pain, brother.
Yeah,
Please
thanks,
come
man.
back. Please come back, man. Both of
All
you.
right, man. I
Oh,
will, man. That's awesome. Thanks for having me, guys, man. I
I'll
hope,
I'll be
right.
on Black
All-
Spinner's Circle next Wednesday. man.
and Mark, I hope you get to feeling better too, man.
Thank you, man. I just want to thank all you guys. You guys all rule.
For real.
Jerry and Charles, man. I love you guys. I love you guys too. I love everybody, man. The whole RMCP. But let's get the fuck out of here. Good night, everybody. Later.
Bye.
Bye.
Stay metal.
Later.